Let me get the people what they want and fire it up. Let's go. Let's go. How we feeling today, fellas?
Feeling
Good,
great.
man. Good.
Another day, another timeline full of Cade and Jalen Duren are a great duo. Just
Listen.
more and more of it.
Since that day, ain't nobody mentioned Cade or Jalen.
Literally reports Steve Kerr coming out saying that how great of a duo they are. What was it? Jalen Brunson said how impactful of a duo they are. Specifically those two. I'm just saying, man.
Damo is seeking this out. It's not like these reports are just coming out. He's actively searching.
He's like page 3, page 4.
I'm literally going on Twitter and swiping up, and every time I see something USA related, I don't know if it's just divine intervention, but every time I look, if it's USA related, oh man, Anthony Edwards just talks about how great Jalen Duren and Cade worked together today in workouts. I'm like, this is crazy.
That's crazy. You getting Jalen Duren's suggested post. That's wild. Hey, but more power to you. I'm just like, so now all of a sudden Steve Kerr ready to try to package up Steph and a couple other players to go get Cade and Jalen.
Steph and Draymond.
Hey, just wait, man. Give another year.
Stephen Bijalika.
All right, the Detroit, y'all might be in playoff contention this year. But
hey, where is Bijalika right now? Where is
he's back? He's back with us.
Nimia came home. Okay.
Yeah, he was all right last time.
We missed Nimia and Sat.
Shout out Nimia. But I want to play a quick game called "Was This Take Valid or Not?" So I'm gonna play a couple old clips from back in the archives, like last season, last summer. And I want you guys to tell me if this panelist nailed this take or if they didn't. Yo, Mars, what's up? How you doing today?
Hi.
You ready to talk sports?
We'll see.
Okay, all right. Well, without any further ado, here we go.
Boss Blackman, what's up, brother?
Hello. Hi.
We have the Utah Jazz at 9-3 right now. Contender or pretender?
Don't get sucked in, Mars. Don't get sucked in.
I'm trying not to.
Don't get sucked in, Mars.
They're convincing me too. Not gonna lie.
Ever so slightly, I'm starting to believe maybe they're not tanking. And that's progress for me because I thought they were trying to win 5 games. So maybe they might try and make playoffs.
Man, I don't give a bro. Every contenders, bro. They look wild. Listen, all you guys in the chat, salute up. Like Geno Smith, they wrote them off, and they're going to keep writing them off, and they're going to change the world. Hashtag Geno Smith, put your salutes up, bro. They changing the game, I promise y'all. They changing the game.
We have the Utah Jazz at 9-3 so right now. Contender or pretender? How do we feel
Don't get sucked in, Mars. Don't get sucked in.
Still playing. I still hear. Oh, never mind. It's gone.
How do we feel about that, fellas?
Dub was wrong.
I mean, it was still a good take.
Mars was getting on the hook, and I had to reel him back in. He was getting on the hook with the Jazz. They had started the season. They were rolling, and I saw Mars' face. He was getting on the hook, and I'm thinking, Mars, this is a bad idea. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Hey man, they were 9-3. They were 9-3.
Yo, am I the only one who can hear that echo?
No, it's definitely an echo. Chill.
Is it me?
Is
it me again? Okay, hold on. Let me.
I don't hear it.
Yeah, it's chill because when I mute him, you can't hear nothing.
Elhurst, man. Elhurst.
Facts.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna come right back.
All right. You good.
See if I can get this figured out.
In terms of the Jazz, though, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Oh wait, y'all still hear the echo?
Yep.
Damn, it wasn't even chill. That's crazy. But no, I still hear it too. It's somebody.
Pirate, is it you?
Hold on, mute him. Yo.
Yeah,
it is Pirate.
It's that Pirate. Oh man.
Damn, you guys packed up chill and it was Pirate. Oh, the racism, man. The racism.
Yo,
damn.
Somebody grab a chair. Nah, but
back tight too.
But nah, the Jazz are still better than I assume they were going to be, even though they finished.
Yeah, Pirate.
God damn.
Can you hear me? Is there an echo?
Yeah.
We can hear everything.
Go ahead though, Damo. I muted you, Pirate. So whenever
But
you're
nah,
ready,
I was just saying the Utah Jazz. I mean, even though they finished how many wins they finished with? How many wins they finished with was
Like
still more wins than I
33,
thought.
I think.
That was like 8 more than I thought they were going to have. Personally, I didn't think they were going to crack 30 wins. So for them to start off that hot, them to finish still with a solid foundation. After the Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert trade, no one had any hope for them in terms of what they were doing for the future. Hell, even Chris Dunn. Damn. Even Chris Dunn made a name for him. Yeah, even Chris Dunn was doing some work. So I'm still excited for the Utah Jazz. I don't think it was a terrible take. Now I think that they were gonna make noise for real is kind of crazy.
I started watching them at the end of the season, but yeah, they had 37 wins. Had to look up. So I stayed strong to the fact that they weren't trying to make the playoffs, but they definitely left it late to start trying to lose games. So I give them more credit than I was planning on giving them. As you could tell by the clip, I said I had them winning 5 games before the season. So they exceeded my expectations. And next season, I still think they're going to try and lose again. I don't think they're going to try and win. So we'll see if they exceed my expectations back-to-back years.
Did Markkanen get hurt at the end of the season? My fault.
You good?
I stopped watching. I don't know. I think Markkanen was still playing. I think he was.
No, you still echoing, Pirate.
Pirate, you don't got no headphones?
You know, see what's on his head?
Headphones on.
You know, see what's on his head?
Are they plugged in though? Because it shouldn't be echoing.
Yeah.
It's only echoing if it's playing through a speaker.
Yeah, it must not be playing through your headphones.
This is why we're usually late.
Is the car? Maybe you got the car on? It's coming out the Bluetooth.
Chill,
chill. You good?
The
bro.
echo
Chill.
wasn't you. You was falsely accused.
Yeah, chill. It wasn't even you, man.
Man, that's
okay.
fucked
I
up.
just want to make
Chill,
sure that I
blame
was.
I can't believe
Hey,
that.
man.
But 37 games is like 12 more games than I thought the Jazz were gonna win. But that's not due to ability though. Like I already had. I didn't know Lauri was gonna come out like this year, but I knew Lauri had game already. I knew he was gonna be better once he got to his own squad. But I thought they were gonna just be tanking. Like I was saying during the season, like somebody's about to lose their job. Like you're not supposed to.
How much better though, Bob?
I was with you.
What you say, Chizan?
How much better, Bob? Because I mean, when you talk about Lauri, up until he gets to Utah, he's a 15-8 guy. I mean, how much better do you think he was going to be?
A lot better than he was, because when he was coming out of Arizona, you know, he was already that baby unicorn. It was supposed to be the next Kristaps, but with a little more sauce to him. I thought he was, but then he got hurt in Chicago right before he went to Cleveland, right? Or did he get hurt when he first got to Cleveland? One of those times he got hurt, and I think that just set him back a lot. I think that set him back a lot. But he was playing pretty well when he first got to the league, and then when he got to Cleveland, I really enjoyed when he got to Cleveland. It was him, Jared Allen, Kevin Love, and then they used to play real big. I used to like Lauri at the 3 over there in Cleveland. So I've always liked Lauri. I didn't know he was gonna do like that this year though. I wasn't expecting him to do like that.
The most improved, I had the most improved correct on the right team. I just had the wrong dude because I thought they were going to be garbage, and I thought they were just going to give the ball to Colin Sexton and turn him loose. That's what I thought was going to happen because I thought they were going to be whack.
It could have been the case. Remember, he got injured.
Right, and he was coming off injury
crazy in the beginning too.
Right. He was coming off injury, him getting to Utah, and with him getting to Utah, they were going to be garbage, and they were just going to give him the ball, turn him loose. He was 24 a game when he left Cleveland. I mean, they ended up choosing Darius Garland over him. I understand that. But him going to Utah, they were going to be bad. They had just signed an extension. I'm thinking to myself, all right, they're going to give him the basketball. They're going to turn him loose. That Utah team is not going to be very good. Lauri Markkanen, he will probably be an 18, 19 a game guy. I did not have him being a 22, 23, and almost 10 guy. I did not have that.
Yeah, Lauri's just one of those guys I want to say is a prime example of if you're not what your scouting report says you're going to be your first year or your second year or your third year, it's okay because you're still developing. Like you can do – a lot of dudes don't get to their prime until what, 28, 29? Some dudes don't mature and like start to show their promise until their 4th or 5th season in the year or in the league. And Lauri's one of those prime examples. Played for two different teams.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, you got it.
I also feel like, to be honest with you, Ron, I also feel like Billy Donovan was screwing him up. He was yanking him in and out of line. He was playing, but he was playing in stretches where he wasn't used correctly. 1 minute he'd have him on the perimeter. Then he was trying to turn him into a box player. Then he was trying to turn him into a combination of that. And that's not what Lauri Markkanen's game was. When he got to Utah, he looked so much better in transition. And they didn't do any of that when he was in Chicago. None of that was going on in Chicago. More so than not, he was trying to turn him into one of those slow down big guys who he could play on the perimeter, but then he could play on the block. He could play fast, but then he couldn't. And in Utah, they completely opened up the offense for him.
Do y'all feel like this is a case of like what Paul George was talking about not too long ago on his podcast on there's a lot of players in the NBA who just given the opportunity can be a guy that can at least look like a cornerstone player or look like an all-star level player? Because last season alone, look at Lauri Markkanen, how he started the season and around trade deadline with Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges was on that podcast and said, bro, I was never a guy that even tried to get 30 points. I always played within my role no matter what team I was on. And then I get to the Nets and it's like, all right, well, somebody got to score. And now he's looked at as a guy that they're going to build around. Like he went from literally, I'm going to plug you into whatever team and you're going to be this piece to now I'm building around you. And it wasn't even something he thought was going to happen. So there, and what you call Paul George said it. There's a ton of guys in the NBA given that same opportunity will give you the same results.
Yeah, Damo, remember I was trying to tell you a few months ago, if you give Norman Powell the same green light as Devin Booker,
this Norman Powell shit. Oh my goodness.
If you give Norman Powell that green light in Phoenix, he can do pretty much what Devin Booker does.
Hey,
it might not look as pretty, but he could do pretty much the same thing Devin Booker does with that green light in Phoenix. I guarantee you.
Before anybody says anything, I just want you guys to know Norman Powell is a list of probably about 40 guys that Bob praises that are role players. So I just want you to know this episode today is dedicated to this man right here. Right there. It's dedicated to him.
Yeah,
just so you know, and you known him longer than I have, Ron, but since I've known him, he's definitely loving the rotation. And he's steady talking to me about Norman Powell this, Norman Powell that. I'm thinking to myself, should I be watching Norman Powell more? Because I watch Norman Powell all the time. But I'm thinking to myself, should I be watching this dude a little bit more?
Otto Porter Jr. is different. Now I don't know about that one. I feel you with the Thaddeus Young. I feel you with Norman Powell. I feel you with probably 80% of the role players you're gonna say. But if you throwing out you throwing out Otto Porter Jr., man, you losing me.
I'm talking about young. I'm talking about younger Otto. Though. I'm talking about Wizards Otto. Not this Otto. It's no more. But I'm trying to tell y'all though, like Norman Powell with that green light. No, he's an all-star. Almost, I don't know about every year, but he's an all-star. He would have 2 or 3 all-star games already if he had what's his name, D-Book's green light. If he had D-Book's green light and a team like that, bro.
I'll give you all-star reserve. I don't know if he's just making all-star teams above D-Mitch, Luka, Kyrie, James, Steph. I don't know about that one.
That's what he's trying to sell us. That's what he's trying to sell us right now, Damo. He had number 1 on a playoff team. That's what he's trying to sell us.
Norman Powell could, with the green light, he's yes,
oh my God.
Yes. Oh my he's God. A 6-7 seed, bro, for sure. For sure.
Oh man. So what you trying to say is he need to be signed to a contract. Like one of those.
So what's that? What's the contracts that like Tyler Hero and them got? He's at least good for that. You know, like he's at least good for that. What's that? 30 mil?
Would the Heat be better with Norman as opposed to
what? Oh my God! If Norman Powell was on the Heat, bro, come on, y'all all. I know y'all all feel that. Like Norman Powell was on that spot.
Norman Powell with Tyler Hero, they'll be in the same situation.
That'd be better. Norman Powell's better than Tyler Hero.
How much better though, Ox?
Significantly.
Wow.
Significantly.
What's
significant?
So that like they got action and they beat the Nuggets last year.
So so this is the thing. So Tyler Hero was obviously hurt last year. So so Tyler Hero didn't play. If you put Norman Powell on that team, yes, I got.
And turn him loose. And turn him loose.
If you give Norman Powell
is-
Norman Powell that same green light that Tyler Hero has over there in Miami, well, him and Jimmy Butler are possibly the scariest duo. Don't nobody want to play that.
Big Ox. So
Bro,
you're telling us right now, I want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly, Big Ox. So you're telling us right now, in that NBA final series, Norman Powell is the difference between them winning and losing.
Yes,
with the green
and
light.
I see this comment from you, Boy Wonder. I still got love for Tyler Hero. That's what y'all got to. That's what not y'all specifically, but people got to stop doing that. Just because I think he's better than Norman Powell. There's no love lost for Tyler Hero. I still got big love and appreciation for Tyler Hero. But Norman Powell is better than Tyler Hero, y'all. Norman Powell is better than Tyler Hero. And if he's over there with the green light Tyler Hero got, if he can shoot those 16 to 20 shots Tyler Hero gets to shoot, bro, Norman Powell's an all-star over there next to Jimmy Butler.
Damn.
What I will say is obviously you know why I like Norman, because he's a two-way player. And I do like Norman because he attacks the rim like crazy. But I don't know, Ox. Norman can shoot pretty well.
He shoot the ball. He bring a different toughness. You know what I'm saying? He brings
a
whole different. He brings a whole different dynamic to the team. On top of that, y'all. What about the playoffs when Kawhi went out? What did him and Russ do? When Norman gets his shots, he go crazy. I mean,
they lost.
I think so. You're right, Damo. You're right. But that was a different team though. I'm talking about him on the Heat, bro.
Mars, do you have anything to contribute to Norman Powell on the Heat?
Nah, I don't want to have people complaining that I'm trolling again. So
Mars, nobody's complaining that you're trolling. What do you think about Norman Powell on the Heat, Mars? Is he the difference in them winning the NBA championship? Does that series become more competitive if Norman Powell is on that crew?
A more competitive 5 games, sure.
Oh, so that means no. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that as a. Does he stretch it to 6 games, even 7? Norman Powell.
No. I like Norman Powell though. I think he's all right.
I do too. No.
Yeah,
they did lose 5. So maybe he just takes it to 7. But I'm thinking they win. I'm thinking they win the series with Norman because they didn't have Tyler anyway. So they didn't have Tyler or Victor Oladipo. So if you put Norman Powell on that squad, I think he gives them a major boost.
A closer 5 games.
Is it echoing?
No,
you good
now.
No,
we good. Okay, cool.
We talked about Norman Powell and everything cleared up.
I like Norman Powell. I'd say he's probably in the range of a Tyler Hero. I don't think he's going to win the championship for them. I think they were pretty outclassed. I think it's also a little unfair to say, like, if Hero didn't play and you just say add Norman Powell, then they're definitely going to be better. I mean, you just added a good player, so
that's why
they'll be better.
That's an easy take.
I think even with them, even with them, I don't think they're beating the Nuggets. So, but I do like Norman Powell. He's good.
Mm-hmm. All right,
fellas. The two-way player label, but yeah.
Well, see, Mars. When I say a two-way player, like, because I seen your reaction, then I seen a couple people in the chat. Norman Powell plays defense. Is he a lockdown two-way player? No, but Norman Powell in college, he was. I want to say he was all Pac-12 defensive team. On top of that, when he got to the NBA, and maybe not with the Clippers, but when he was playing with Toronto, Norman Powell was coming off the bench playing defense. Part of that could have been the fact that they were a defensive team. They had Mark Gasol, they had Kawhi
Leonard,
obviously. They had
Ibaka,
Leonard, they had Ibaka, and they had Kyle Lowry. So they had a team full of defenders. Danny Green,
Danny Green.
Sometimes you could get bunched into a label just by the group you're playing with. So maybe I'm associating now with his college days and then. But from the Norman Powell, I know Norman Powell plays defense. On top of that, he's athletic. So naturally, he's just able to play defense a lot better than a lot of other guys, and he plays hard. Now, is he somebody where he's like a Tony Allen? No, you're not going to put him on your best player and he's going to lock him down. But Norman Powell is going to contribute on the defensive end.
I think he played defense 3 years ago. But I think once you get a defensive reputation, you never lose it. So, yeah, I guess, two-way player, I guess.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Mars? Because when you say you get a defensive reputation, you never lose it. When I say is that a good thing or a bad thing, is it a bad thing in the aspect that you might not be the defender that you used to be, but because you have that reputation, the accolades are still there?
I mean, it's good for them. I mean, it's the reason why you, like, occasionally on X or Twitter, you'll hear people still say Kawhi Leonard's the best perimeter defender in the league. Is because once
Which
you
he's
get
not.
once you get a reputation, you don't lose it. It's why you still hear people say Steph Curry is one of the worst defenders in the NBA, because it works the other way. Once you get a reputation that you're bad defensively, you also never lose it. It's why people say that James Harden has never tried on defense in his career, when you can vividly go back to years like 2018 and 2019, where he was actually putting forth effort on defense. Was he good? Not really, but he was putting forth effort. It wasn't like 2015. So I do think, I think it's a bad thing for just basketball conversations in general. And I think it gets people some accolades they don't deserve. But for the players themselves, I mean, them getting recognized as good defenders, even when they're not, it's good for them. I mean, that's good for them. But then players like Steph, it's probably not so great for them. So it's a good thing and a bad thing.
The question is, how can I shake that reputation? So a guy like James Harden, could he have ever shaken that reputation of being a bad defender? Could he have ever shaken it? Yes, he could have shaken it. And the reason why, the way he could have shaken it is actually by putting forth effort. He only put that effort.
I mean, you kind of, you start how you finish, kind of. You know, it's like once you show something, especially if you show that, like what Mars was saying, he said 18 and 19, he put forth effort. I mean, did he really though? It's like you in comparison, if you compare that to what he was doing in the
it was
years,
it was night and day between what he used to do.
So that's why
he was still active.
He wasn't great, what I'm saying though, Chilton, it's hard to break. It's hard to shake that, because once you've shown us for years, like, oh, I'm playing Olay defense, you know, I'm playing Matador D. At that point, it's kind of like that's engraved. Why would you? The only way to shake that is to not ever be a lazy defender. I don't think you can shake it, and I think it's fair, because I can't trust you. I can't trust you once I've seen you on fast breaks do this.
Chime in, Pirate.
Hey, man,
I think you can definitely shake it. It's a lot like what Mars said. Defense is so much more difficult to quantify, and it's also so much more team dependent. I think a real good example would be, just in the last couple of years, Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins on the Timberwolves, his stretch on the Timberwolves, he had the lowest defensive rating in NBA history. It was over 114. And he had a rap for being a really bad defender. He goes to the Warriors. Yeah, he's in a much better system. And after just a season, people are saying he's a really good two-way player. You know, now he may have really improved his game in the offseason, or he may have just switched and found himself in a much better situation to play defense and be perceived as a good defensive player. Another one, we were talking Moses Malone the other day, and Moses Malone, you know, he played 21 years. He only made 2 all defensive teams. One of his all defensive teams, two. Yeah, you said 3 the other day. It was only 2 though. He made 1.
Let's see who's right.
He snuck into one second team when he was really young. And then in his 21 years, the only other all-defensive team he made was when he was coming off an MVP, and Houston played bad defense. He goes to Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. He's surrounded by Bobby Jones, probably the best defensive player of that era, Maurice Cheeks, and Dr. J. He goes from being perceived as a very poor defender to he sneaks into first-team defense for that year. And then if you look at that year, so he snuck into first team defense in 83. If you look at the 2 years before that, the starting center was Caldwell Jones, who also happened to be the center for the Sixers. He himself played a long career. He played 16, 17 years. He only made 2 defensive teams. And those 2 defensive teams happened to be when he was playing with Bobby Jones, Maurice Cheeks, Dr. J. So, I mean, defense is really team dependent, and, you know, it's hard to quantify. It's hard to evaluate.
But
who you're playing with really.
Once you cheat, you can't. Once you cheat, you're never going to be trusted again. You know what I'm saying? It goes that way. Once I've seen you just play lazy defense over and over again, I'm not gonna be able to trust you as far as I can throw you. Like if I'm the coach, I can't even turn my back to the court while you're playing because once you cheat on me, I would never trust you again. So
but not
I can't do
necessarily
it.
because Kawhi Leonard's been cheating for 3 years and all of he's still an elite defender. So I think if you start off not cheating, you'll gain the rep to where when you're cheating later on is fine. Because Kawhi Leonard hasn't been an elite defender since maybe Toronto, if you want to give him that yet. And he wasn't
Mars, but
elite
Kawhi
then,
gets
maybe
like
then.
he gets like an asterisk for his cheating. You know, like when you cheat,
Paul
they're
George
like,
is the same way. They were calling them the best defensive wing duo, and Paul George ain't played defense since 2019 either.
no, Mars, I get you, but I'm saying it's an asterisk next to it just because the whole injury bug thing. So it's like people have magnified the injury so much that they've overlooked that. They're focusing more on the injuries than the fact that they're not playing defense. Mars, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying like people aren't like they aren't paying attention to them playing defense. They're more so paying attention to their street clothes. So it's like,
oh, go ahead.
No, you got it.
I was gonna say another thing you add on to that is just the perception of the viewer and the fans too, because like Mars said, it's people all over. I'm not calling the X; it's always gonna be Twitter to me. It's people all over Twitter that's gonna run with these narratives of who's a good and who's a bad defender based off what everyone says. A prime example of that, at least from what I've experienced on my timeline, I'm not gonna just say it's just some known thing, but on my timeline, the defense of Aaron Gordon. Before he got to the Nuggets, people were not talking about how good of a defender Aaron Gordon was unless you paid attention to the Magic, which a lot of people never paid attention to the Magic for real, especially in those years when he was a rookie, sophomore, third-year player. They weren't watching him play. So people just assumed he was just this dunker. They know him for dunking with Zach LaVine. They know him as getting these good in-game dunks. They never thought of his defense. When he gets to the Nuggets, he has his reputation as a good defender. But so many people will tell you, bro, he's been a good defender, but people won't know because they don't watch the games themselves. They wait for a Mars, a Ron, a Pirate, a Chill to make a take about somebody, or they wait for a me or a Low to tweet something about it, and they run with that narrative. So it should be whack.
Yeah, and again, it's just so much more difficult to quantify on defense. Like on offense, it's so easy to say, hey, last year you had 25 points, 8 assists. This year you got 12 points, 3 assists. Like you dropped off, but defense really is, because defense is reactionary. You're not initiating it. Defense really takes all 5 guys to perform well. So, it's just hard to fully appraise.
And people like Patrick Beverly, people give you that narrative that Pat is such a great defender, but if you bring up Chris Dunn, people laugh. When in reality, last year, Chris Dunn was a good defender. Coming off the bench, I think he started some games too for the Jazz. Chris Dunn was a really good guard defender. I remember during the whole free agency process, I forgot what team we were talking about. And it was like, they need to sign. I think it was the Suns. It's like, they need to find a guard to sign. I'm like, shit, Chris Dunn. People laughed. Chat was like, Chris Dunn. I'm like, bro, Chris Dunn is a reliable backup point guard, can even start, has great defense. But you wouldn't know because people stopped, like Mar said, you stopped watching the Jazz. And everyone just ran with the perception, oh, man, yeah, Pat Bev, because he yells a lot, yeah, he's a great defender. That's the guy. Like, it's
Russ told us years ago that Pat Beverly was tricking us. He told us years ago, and a lot of us, we kind of poo-pooed it, only to find out that Russ was right.
Nah, Russ wasn't right.
I think there's people who also listen to Russ when he said that and then acted like Pat Bev doesn't play. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. Because Pat Bev plays defense 1000%. Now, is he does the all-world defender that other people know with him? Maybe not, but he's also not tricking people. He's not just out there doing nothing. So,
Speaking of Russ and Pat Bev, I have one more clip that I do want to bring up, and ironically, it's about Ticket talking about one of these guys.
Yeah, but Russ said that because Pat Bev did his job. He had Russ frustrated. That's why Russ was saying that.
Mm-hmm. Also, remember Pat Bev injured him that one time. Remember that playoff series?
He was going for the ball, man.
I mean, going for the ball or not. I'm not saying whether it was valid or not. He still is the reason why he had to get knee surgery.
Russ was in his feelings, man.
I'd be in my feelings too if you tore my MCL, TCL, and PCL. What are you talking about?
He was trying to get the ball. Russ should have. That's what. But see, that's what my mom used to tell me back when I was playing ball. Don't be reaching for the ball, reaching down. If you're gonna get on the ball, get on the ground. Get down and get the ball. You can't be standing around with the ball in the ground. People are trying to get the ball. That's how you get your knees took out.
Man, with all the NBA players in the league, and all the people diving for loose balls by knees. It's just magical to me how it's just, oh nah, man. It wasn't nothing about that. He was just diving.
And he was getting ready to call timeout too. On top of that, it wasn't like it was
I'm
played.
dive for the ball, bro. No one's tore somebody's ACL.
I'm saying that's how it happens, bro. Like Russ, he wasn't. What you think? He just dove at Russ' knees like he's trying to hurt Russ. I don't see that.
I've seen him dive at
Russ is one of those. Russ is one of those.
I've seen him dive at James Harden knees and almost take out Paul George. I've watched.
That's
him do it
okay, but
afterwards.
this the thing. This the thing. That's a part of the game. That's hustle plays. That's how Pat Bev. That's how Pat Bev got to this point by being a hustle player, by going for the loose balls. That's one of those. That's one. Pat Bev is one of those cats like me, for instance, where back when we play open gym and cats were like, damn, you're playing so serious. Like, we playing basketball, but shut your soft ass up. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I hate that. Russ, like we are in the middle of a game, and Russ, if you want to call a timeout, hurry up and call a timeout. Don't be standing there dribbling the ball. I'm gonna come try to take it. That's your fault. That's your fault.
You don't think Pat Bev's dirty at all?
No, I don't. I think he's a hustle. I think he's a hustle player. I think he plays extremely physical. Basketball used to be a contact sport.
And it still is. But with that being said, the great defenders have some dirt in them. That's just part of being a great defender. Jordan was dirty on some level. Olajuwon was dirty. Mark Eaton was dirty. Draymond Green is filthy. So all of these guys.
Dwayne Wade almost ruined Rajon Rondo's career. You know what I'm saying? Like that was dirty. But
I don't remember that. What did I miss?
Russo not dirty.
When he had his arm like this and he just fell on his arm, and you know,
I do
like
remember
that was if any that type of stuff looks dirty. But at the same time, you know what can we say about that? Since people don't like Patrick Beverly, oh, he's a dirty player. Man, he's not dirty. People don't like the fact that Pat Beverly's been in the NBA for this long and he's not a prolific scorer. He's not a flashy guard like Kyrie Irving. People don't like the pest. They don't like those type of guys. They can't wrap their head around it. Like, how was he even here? He's not supposed to be here. He's fooling you up. Nah, he's doing his job. He's frustrating the hell out of you like he's supposed to. That's why you're in post game interviews crying about it.
Right. Let's get to the bottom of something. First and foremost, Pat Beverly was a bucket getter in high school. He averaged like 38 a game in high school in Chicago. Right. So he was a bucket getter. He came to the NBA and became a defender. Now, you can be a defender and trick people. You can absolutely do that. You can run around and make people think that you're doing more than you're actually doing simply off the fact that you're verbal. You talk a lot. Simply off the fact that you just well, it's good defense if I'm yelling, "Hey Bob, help!" And I keep getting blown by. That's not good defense. I'm getting my ass kicked, and you helping me. That's it. But the point is you can get tricked by a guy that's just talking a lot. You can get tricked by a guy that's just running around and he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's just running around. I think Pat Beverly is a really good on-ball defender. I think Pat Beverly is a pest. But to some extent, I do think that Russell Westbrook does have some logic in the idea that Russell Westbrook is running around. Not Russell Westbrook. Pat Beverly is just running around because guys get lost a lot of times when you see guys just running around. And if you don't know the game, they don't really know what they're doing in terms of switching. They don't know how to drop. They don't know how to beat guys to spots. You just see them running around and running all over the place and not really knowing what they're doing defensively. And that's kind of what Russell Westbrook was talking about. And if you start watching Pat Beverly more, you would pay it. I would pay attention to where he is in terms of positioning. I would pay attention to where he is when he's not on the ball. I was starting to pay attention to that stuff, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, Russ does have somewhat of a point. Not completely. It's not like Pat Beverly doesn't play any defense, but Russ does have somewhat of a point.
What you were saying about that, like yelling, running around, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that applies to Pat Bev. I think Pat Bev isn't rotating. For instance, what he did in Minnesota, I know people laughed at him because he was super excited that they won that playing game. But that's what I'm talking about with Pat Bev. That's the type of shit I like to see. That shows the heart he brought over there, and he's running around. I call that controlled chaos. He's making it chaotic. That's good defense. He's getting if me running around is disturbing your offense, I'm playing good defense. I don't see Pat Bev getting beat off the dribble that much. I mean, everybody gets beat off the dribble. It's the NBA, but he's not. Pat Bev is a really good on-ball defender. On top of that, he's rotating. When he's running around, he's rotating. He's covering people. He's move, go here. He's like a little version and a less skilled version of Kevin Garnett on that defensive end. Yeah, Damo, because that communication. It's communication. When I'm yelling and I'm telling you, Damo, it's coming right, switch that. Drop. Who got corner? We got cutter right. Who's over here? Who you got? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking. I'm like, who you got? Drop back. Get up top. Who's up top? You know, oh, we got to cut it. Corner. Who's in the corner? That's I'm yelling, I'm talking, and people are like, you know, a lot of times. And I was watching an interview about Iman Shumpert. It was Iman Shumpert talking about Kevin Garnett, and now I relate to that. Where I'm out here just talking, and you think I'm just talking shit, but all my brothers on my team, they know what I'm talking about. They know what I'm saying, and that's because y'all think I'm out here just cussing people out or be you know this or that. No, I'm communicating to my teammates, and they know what I'm talking about. They know when I say run, get back. They know. You know, he maybe that's a bad example, but just certain things that you might say that maybe you know that doesn't.
They
sound
understand
like,
your language. I can
exactly. And I think that's what Pat Bev does a lot. Pat Bev is out there talking, and if you're on his team, you know what's going on. But everybody else is like, man, this motherfucker ain't doing nothing. Okay, well, that's why you're upset right now.
I watched Pat Beverly put a Laker jersey on and just run around yelling. We traded him. I watched us bring in Vando, who equally ain't shit on offense. And it was a lot better defensively.
Vando's a better defender than Pat Bev.
You can say, oh, it's because he's 6'8", he can guard different positions. Just the way they play defense, you can say is different, whatever it is. I watched Pat Beverly, who's supposed to be this great defender, and that's the reputation. He's supposed to be this good to great guard defender. At the end of the day, that's the reputation. Like we was talking about earlier, you get the reputation. I watched him go on the Lakers, and there was no great defender. It was just a short man running around yelling at basketball players. So when I say Pat Beverly just be out there running around, I watched it happen. I'm not going based off of a clip. I'm not going based off of whatever. And I understand there's a ton of factors in LA. It could be because he's playing with Russ and LeBron, the coaching. I understand it could be a ton of things why he didn't flourish defensively in LA. I just know I didn't like him beforehand. He got on my team and I gave him a chance. And I seen exactly what Russell Westbrook, another player on the Lakers, they ain't do nothing. But I seen exactly what Westbrook was talking about.
Damo, you shouldn't critique players when they got Lakers jerseys on, but you too hard.
Nah.
Hold up, though, y'all. Speaking of critiquing players with Lakers
you too hard
jerseys
on them, Damo.
I gotta play this, and it's actually pertaining to exactly what Damo was saying.
He's never going to start another game in the NBA after the season again. And if he doesn't want to, hold on. Look, I'm gonna say this to you. I'm being very honest with you, bro. I'm being very honest with you. It ain't just that. His skills, like Lo said, I have to agree with Lo. His skills have diminished, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why his skills have diminished. Because his confidence has diminished. And sometimes when you're confident, listen, it's just like being a boxer. Once you get knocked out a couple times, bro, you ain't the same fighter no more. You understand what I'm saying? Once Russ have experienced this type of criticism, and once he have experienced this type of failure, bro, Russ is not a player who can adjust his game and do other things. In this NBA, as a point guard, you have to be able to shoot the ball. So, yeah, he was able to get the triple doubles and all that other stuff. Now that his game has been completely exposed while being under the bright lights, every other team not only is going to watch how he's handling the situation, which is poorly, but they're going to look that he can't make adjustments. He can't change his game. Russell Westbrook is never going to start another.
Listen, man. Listen, we've all had stuff that we've said that we want to run it back. We've all had it. And I know for a fact I have. And Ticket said that at the time that Russell Westbrook was going through it in Los Angeles. He wasn't shooting the basketball that well. Not only was he not shooting the basketball that well, the team was not very good. Russell Westbrook now turns out he gets talked into coming off the bench. And Damo hated Russ in Los Angeles. He gets talked into coming off the bench. In the process of him getting talked into coming off the bench, he's one of the better rotation players in the game. Even though he still is a starter. And in the right situation, he could be a starter. Prime example would be him with the Clippers. But at that time, when it was going on, where they made Russ, they told Russ it was one thing and it was completely something different. and the fit just didn't work at that particular time. Him coming off the bench worked. With that being said, at that time, it did make sense looking at what Russ was doing. It did.
I said this when the reports of LeBron, AD, and I know y'all remember this. LeBron, AD, and Westbrook sat down and had a dinner about and people suspected they were talking about whose role was going to be what going into the season. I said at that moment, somebody at this table is going to lie. Somebody going to lie. I don't know if LeBron going to lie, if AD going to lie, or if Russ is going to lie. Somebody going to lie. And God is my witness watching that first half of the season. Somebody was lying. And honestly, I thought Westbrook was going to be the liar. I don't think Westbrook lied. I genuinely think LeBron looked at both of them in the face and lied to them. I think LeBron was the liar in that situation.
What did he say, Damo?
I think LeBron told Westbrook, you know what? Be the playmaker. I'm going to need you to be the same Russ you always been, and we will adjust around you to make you comfortable. Just come off the bench, get in where you fit in, and when we're playing, just do you, and we'll fit. And LeBron, I don't even think LeBron lied. I think LeBron underestimated what that would do to the mental of a Westbrook. I think Russ was just himself way too much, being at home, crip walking after threes, and LeBron realized, damn, I cannot adjust the plan around this because I need the ball. So this ain't gonna work. But LeBron lied. And you know, I usually don't agree with Ticket. I still don't agree with Ticket because he still can start. Russ can still start on the Clippers. After that last playoff series.
Yes.
After that last playoff series where he was the best defender on the court, Russ can definitely start. So it was just this time not even in LA on the Lakers. I'm not gonna say the lights were too bright. It's just not fair. The Lakers aren't fair to every superstar. They just aren't. Like, everyone's not going to come to LA and get a fair shake. You're just not. And when you top that onto, you're playing on a LeBron James team, which LeBron teams alone, Laker teams alone and LeBron teams alone are already toxic. When you mix both of those together, that's the most toxic basketball environment ever. I used to be mad at Westbrook for what happened. Looking now, post him leaving, post Bev leaving, looking at who we brought in and how God said it fit. Hell, looking at what D'Lo dealing with. I'm like, yeah, somebody gonna take the shitty end of the stick. Somebody's going
dealing with.
Oh man, after that playoff, bro, people do not want to talk about how honestly D'Lo probably had one of the better shooting years he's had.
The best in his career, by the way.
Literally,
the best.
And we're not gonna talk about it. You wanna know why? Because where were you when we needed you in round 3? Because that's all that matters to us Laker fans.
Forget round 1 and round 2. Forget those two. Forget those two. Forget those two.
Forget you balling out and getting us here because you got us through the Warriors. Forget that series because you played great against the Warriors. Forget that series. What did you do against Jokic? Nothing. What was Jamal Murray doing against you? Everything. So that's all we remember.
And forget the fact that he just got on the crew a month and a half or 2 months before that. Let's take that off the table.
You haven't had an off season.
None of that matters.
You haven't had training camp. You literally are coming off of playing with a whole different set of guys in a different system with a different role, and you're coming to play basically you're playing for a championship with LeBron James and Anthony Davis and a lump head coach. Them circumstances are not fair. He's still a terrorist. I don't care what nobody say. He still should be fired. I'm still on that train. But
1 year, Damo? Or not, yes. Damo? Okay. I'm sick of you, Damo, with the Laker propaganda. 1 year, you just got to do. You the Western Conference Championship. 1 year, you just got to do. And now, all of a sudden, you want him gone. He never had a head coaching job before. This is the first time he had a head coaching job.
Yes, I'll be grateful you got a coach.
You be a little bit more patient with him.
Luke Walton. Chill. Let me ask. So, and I said this before. Since it wasn't his fault that Wendell Gabriel was our backup center, who am I going to blame? Jeannie Buss? Rob Pelinka?
No.
Who do I blame?
I'm not going to blame Jeannie Buss.
Who do I blame?
Well, there's a reason why you're not going to blame Jeannie Buss. We already know why from Ox. But don't forget, Rob Pelinka is the one putting this crew together. So I can only pick off the bench what I have. So if Wendell Gabriel is the only thing that I have available, then that's who I got to go with, even though he should not touch the floor on any rotation with the Los Angeles Lakers at any point during that season.
So chill. Who am I blaming for the multitude of 3 guard lineups pre and post Westbrook? Who do I blame?
You know, I just got the job, Damo. I just got the job, Damo. I just got the damn job. I just got the job, Damo. Add that to the fact that my big guy, the best big guy that I have, I've lost him, which I was going to do that anyway. I was going to lose the dude. Add that to the fact that my best player, who's almost 40, gives me stretches where he's great and then he breaks down. Now my big guy, who I'm going to lose for 25 more games, add all of that up with the fact that now the roster gets flipped again during the trade deadline, and they still managed to make the Western Conference Championship. They didn't just show up.
That goes to show you, if we had an actual competent coach without a lump on his head, we might actually had a good chance this year. Tell me why in 3 games against the Nuggets, we're going out there with Wendy Gabriel coming off the bench, getting cooked at center with no interior presence. And then game 4, you decide to put in an actual backup center, and what happens? Tristan Thompson looks serviceable? He ain't played all season, and you're telling me he looks serviceable in 1 game in the Western Conference Finals? Lumphead fault, he's a terrorist.
Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So we get a guy in Tristan Thompson who hasn't played in the NBA in years, significant minutes in years. And now what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to trust the fact that this dude just showed up. He's got championship experience years ago. Wyndon Gabriel, who's been here all season, hasn't really helped us much because he doesn't rebound. But that's all I really have over a dude who just walked in the door and hasn't played in the NBA in years. I'm going to take that dude, even though Tristan Thompson was serviceable. Oh, by the way, Damo, let me not leave out the fact that I just got him a week ago. It wasn't like I had him for 6 months. He just walked in the door a week ago.
We could have had an actual, we had an actual center that, was on the bench that wasn't serviceable to the Nuggets. And, he ended up leaving because the coaches sat down with him and said, you know what, buddy? I understand you put in some good minutes, but you threw your hand up when LeBron wanted to get the record-breaking shot. And let me just go ahead and tell you, we would rather give Wyndon Gabriel bench minutes versus you. So we're going to ship you off over here, and we're just going to say, you know what? We're going to run it like this with small ball. Listen, chill. At the end of the day, and this isn't even bias talking. This is literally me sitting down just thinking, bro, Wyndon Gabriel is a 6'9" power forward. If this was 1996, he's a small forward, and he's a $180. Why is he playing center against Nikola Jokic? There's so many questions. And somebody in the chat said, what about LeBron's three-point shooting? I was on this goddamn panel screaming, LeBron is sucking right now. LeBron sucks. AD is our best player. He's shooting like garbage, and that's why we're losing. So I already gave him the slack. But at the end of the day, and like I told, Elder, because he was getting on me about being hard on Lumphead. If I don't blame Lumphead, tell me who I blame for these lineups. Is it G?
Isn't that a bullet wound?
I don't care what it is. I don't care what. I think that's all the offensive capability.
Yo, bro got shot. Bro got shot in the head. You call him Lumphead?
And guess what? Guess what? Paul Pierce got stabbed, and somehow someone on this panel brings it up all the time talking about Paul Pierce. I don't care. All the offensive capabilities is in that little lump on his head. So I'm gonna keep calling him Lumphead until I see some improvement.
Yo, Damo, I do want to say that I don't want to say that none of those guys are to blame, but also too, like, who you forgetting that should be blamed is also Mo Bamba. I don't think Wyndon Gabriel was brought in to play minutes. I think they got Mo Bamba in anticipation that maybe he could be good enough to go out there and be a backup center. Like when they traded Thomas Bryant, I'm pretty sure they were like, Mo Bamba is going to be our guy.
That's true. That's true.
Muhammad was hurt.
He got hurt. He got hurt. Yeah. No, he got
hurt.
Oh,
wait, he got hurt with y'all, or he was hurt before he got there?
He got hurt with us. After he got to us, he got hurt. But then I kept seeing reports, and every time people was like, "No, he's still hurt." But I was seeing reports of him being questionable, coach's decision. He can play, he can't play. I don't know what it is, but knowing that Lumphead sat there and told Thomas Bryant he would rather give Wyndon Gabriel minutes than him, let me believe he didn't trust Mo Bamba. I don't know. I don't trust none of his judgments, honestly. After I seen Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, and Dennis Schroeder being a 3-guard lineup in the playoffs of all places, and when the Gabriel was on at the center, I gave up. And Rui at the center, which again is better, but isn't a solution. Listen, I'm gonna blame Lumphead until he's off the Lakers. Y'all can call it bias, y'all can call it unfair. I don't care what it is. Lumphead got to go.
So that's not Rob Pelinka's fault.
I've been blaming Rob Pelican. Yeah, go and call him Lumphead. It makes sense.
No, I can't do that.
Rob Pelinka actually did a really good job with your crew this season. He did a really good job with your crew this season.
He definitely did. Definitely put some respect back on his name, because what he had first was crazy. Hey, Damo
I'm not gonna give you credit for starting the fire in the kitchen and putting out the fire. I'm not giving you credit for putting out the fire, bro.
You did say that. You did say that. But Damo, I want to know about D'Angelo Russell. Has D'Angelo Russell had the roughest Lakers stint, like being there with that shit that what happened with Kobe and what's
Nick
his
Young
name,
and stuff?
Nick Young and all that,
No.
and then leaving and then coming back? Or did he have the worst? Or did Dwight came back and got some respect when they got that championship? So no, I mean
I
like
think
that's who you got, Chilltown? Who you think is?
I think it's Russell Westbrook. I think
Oh,
Russell
yeah, that's
Westbrook.
right.
I think Russell Westbrook was. I don't think he was tricked into coming to Los Angeles, but I do think that he was talked into coming to Los Angeles under. Well, actually, yeah, maybe false pretenses. Yo, Russ, this is what it's going to be, and this is what you're going to do. Only to find out that no, you're not going to do that, and it's going to make his game look way worse than what he is. Russ is still one of the better guards in the game. Russ is getting booed because he's not shooting the basketball like he should. Russell Westbrook is turning the basketball over. Even though that's his game, he's not allowed to play. And these guys are now making Russell Westbrook look like he's not even an NBA player anymore. When in reality, Russ is still a starter in this league. So yes, 100%. I think it's Russell
I
Westbrook.
would
It almost
say-
ruined his
If
career.
Bron
It almost
and AD
ruined
could have
his
stayed
career.
healthy, if Bron and AD could have stayed healthy that year, I don't think it would have been as bad for Russ. Like,
And just so you know, I think Russ led them in rebounds, assists. I want to say blocks and steals during that season.
That's
I think
crazy.
Russ did do that.
Yeah,
He didn't lead
and-
them in scoring, but
and
he
it
led them.
looked
And,
awful.
and now everybody was telling us that Russell Westbrook should be out of the league when he did all of that on a crew that was just decimated with injuries, with underperformance, and he still did that on that crew.
I would say Russell Westbrook, D'Angelo Russell, and I'm mad because Mars put it in the chat, so it's gonna look. I'm stealing it now, but I would say the third is probably Smush Parker. I was gonna go Smush Parker as my third one. Smush ain't do nothing wrong. Smush ain't do nothing to nobody. He just came on a depleted Laker team and was told to be the point guard, and he was like, "Bet," and Kobe just demolished him, dismantled him for no good reason. Smush ain't asked to be there. Smush ain't asked for that chance. He's just doing his job, playing basketball, and Kobe made him feel like he was Kwame Brown. It was messed up.
Man,
Hey,
God
hey, yo,
rest his
Damo,
head,
so
but
what-
Kobe was an
what-
asshole for that.
Hey, what was worse? And we got to move on. I'm gonna get into these super chats, but I want to ask you what was worse. So you said the Lakers are a toxic environment just to play in LA for the Lakers. That's toxic, right? And you also went ahead to say playing next to LeBron is toxic as well. I would even go to another player and say it was kind of toxic playing with him just because of his expectations and how hard he's going to push you, Kobe Bryant. So what do you think is worse, playing in LA next to LeBron or playing in LA next to Kobe?
Easy.
Playing in LA,
Lighter
with LeBron.
Kobe too. After the expectations were already set.
Playing in LA with LeBron, because playing with Kobe, and I mean toxic from a fan standpoint, not from the two lead players. Obviously, with Kobe, he's going to push you, but if you're doing good on a Kobe-led Laker team, you're going to get your respect. We respected Andrew Bynum, Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, Paul Gasol. We respected that. Trevor Ariza.
What
Ron
about
Artest,
Sasha? Don't forget Sasha.
Sasha Vujacic. Hey, Vladimir Ramadovich when he was there. Hey, trust me, I know.
Vlad.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. Hey, we respect all of them. Playing with LeBron James, look at AD. He's seen his terry cloth, and it's been years where he's been better than LeBron James. He still gets hate. D'Angelo Russell just had coming off playing half of the season, still finished with the best shooting numbers he ever had, and no one cares. You can play good next to LeBron James, and no one will care if you don't win. Those Laker teams lost, and people still respected those guys. Those guys can lose game. They lost in 08 outside of Paul Gasol getting called soft. People still respected Andrew Bynum. People still respected other guys to an extent, unlike these Laker teams of today. With LeBron James, you lose with him, and this is going with the Lakers, the Heat, the Cavs. You lose with LeBron, your career is almost over, it seems like, for that summer. That summer is nothing but, yeah, he's traded, get him out of here, say ni hao. Learn how to say ni hao, buddy. It's a wrap.
Ni hao's crazy. Hey, the trade LeBron culture is ridiculous. Every summer, like it's actually got to be like tiring being one of LeBron's teammates, because every summer you know your name's gonna get, whether it's real or not, you know your name's gonna be circulated within trade rumors.
Hey, speaking of those Lakers days, though, Ron, that's another point guard to put on your list on point guards I'd rather have than Chris Paul. Jordan Farmore.
Another.
All right, y'all. We gonna get into these super chats now.
Give me Jordan Farmore.
Eli the Misfit said Norman Powell is solid. Eli the Misfit also said Otto on the Warriors was fire.
He was good.
Eli with yet another one said Powell would fit way better coming from a Heat fan. Eli, I didn't know you was a Heat fan. Shout out Eli. Shout out the Heat. Shout out Dub for some reason. Eli the Misfit also said Powell actually translates in the playoffs.
It does. I think his numbers go up in the playoffs.
Raw with the super chat said, is LeBron the only player to have lost a defensive reputation?
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. He was an elite defender. He went from being an elite defender to he doesn't play defense at all. He doesn't play defense.
I would assume he's talking about in 2018. In 2018, that's when that narrative really kicked off. But I mean, it made sense because in 2020, he definitely redeemed himself. I feel like in 2020 with his defense.
I feel like he did too. I do. I felt like he did too. But and really quick, like I said, I don't really pay much attention to the chat, but this buddy OG, you are the epitome of a Kobe Bryant fan. And the minute I say something about James, I'm doing this. But the minute anybody brings up Kobe Bryant, you do the exact same thing, but then criticize me for bringing up James. You're the epitome of a hypocrite. Stop talking to me and pay attention to the show. Please stop it, because you are the epitome of a hypocrite, you goofball. Now, I'm sorry. We were talking about James defensively in 2020. I think that was one of the years where he did redeem himself defensively. I do. And all of the years before that, right? All of the years before that, the logic on him, I thought he should have made the All-League defensive team in 2018. I was surprised that he didn't. I thought he should have made the All-League defensive team in 17. I was also surprised that he didn't. Let's see, what other years? In 2015, I thought in 2017, like I say, he finished in the top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year, and he did not make the All-League defensive team. That's the only time he ever did. That's the only time he ever had.
2018. I'm about to say, I don't know about 2018.
In 2018, so in 2018, if you look at his numbers and what he produced that year, he had the highest defensive rating of his career that year in 2018. He had not only did he have the highest defensive rating of his career that year, he had more blocks and more steals than both Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, who also made the All-League defensive team, and he didn't. I was actually surprised he didn't make the All-League defensive team.
Better defenders than him. So that's why. I mean, they are.
I was actually surprised that he didn't make the All-League defensive team that year. And then we talk, and again, when we talking about reputation, there's plenty of guys who make the All-League defensive team on reputation. Prime example, I still think that Drew Holiday is one of the better perimeter defenders in the game, even though we leave out the fact that what happened to him against Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. You know, didn't Brunson put 45 on him this season, something like that? He's had stretches during this season where, you know, he's gotten it lit to him. He's gotten served. That's happened. 100% that's happened. 100% that's happened.
The super chat asked, was LeBron the only player to have lost his defensive reputation? Earlier, Damo, I heard you talking about Pat Beverly. You think he's starting to lose his defensive reputation?
No. I don't think he's starting to lose his defensive reputation. I think that's the one thing that's keeping him in the league is his defensive reputation. So he's not losing the hell. He just got a contract with who's he with now? Is he with the Clippers again?
Philly.
Who's he with? He was
Philly.
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 I knew it was a blue and red white team. I just didn't know which one.
Dylan Brooks is losing his reputation.
That is true.
What reputation does he have, though, Mars?
He was considered a good defender until he started trash talking superstars, and now he's no longer a defender, I guess.
That's crazy.
He's still
in one instance.
Yeah, he is, but we're just talking about how the fans view him, and you know they're mostly casual. So Dylan Brooks just doesn't play defense,
right?
Anymore. So that he's losing,
which
his
is not true.
reputation.
Yeah, which is not true.
Losing, so
Rockets bias.
Now I've been saying Dylan Brooks plays defense. Offensively, there's major problems, but
major flaws on the offensive end.
But he plays defense, and yeah, he plays defense, and also LeBron was not meant to make an all-defensive team in 2018. No, he just wasn't. But yeah, Dylan Brooks is losing his defensive reputation.
All because he poked the bear.
That's all. No other reason, Big. He still
just
plays
poked
defense.
the wrong one.
That's it. He still plays D.
The thing
Right?
about it is
Still
he didn't
plays
just
D.
poke the bear. He was poking the bear, elbowing the bear, slapping the bear. He
Called-
ran up,
called
he
him-
trying to put
called
the
him
bear in a
old.
headlock. He was just doing too much when it came to Braun.
How you gonna butterneck a bear?
You can't do that, yo.
Yeah, hey, chat, y'all know what a dirty neck is? Y'all know what a butter neck is?
You know how you
Come
gonna
on,
walk? You know that fresh cut when you got the fresh taper. You walk up fresh cut, bam. How you gonna do that? How you gonna do that to Bron?
All right, y'all.
He should have picked on D-Law.
Kuzan said, Ox, please go back and watch that Pat Bev clip. That was a dirty play.
Nope.
I mean, to be fair, Pat Beverly is short. He's going to be around people's knees. You know, he bends over. He's like around your knee.
That's just unfortunate accidents. I just think sometimes you know that's the nature of the game.
How many unfortunate accidents until we can call you a dirty player? Because I've had this take. I said it's 3. After you give me 3, I'm gonna just assume you're dirty.
I don't know. That's a good question, Damos. It's really got to be like what do you call that? Case based. It's got I got to see individually. I can't lump them. I got to lump them together.
So if you see, so again, so how many times? So would you think Matthew Dellavedova is a dirty player?
No. Grayson Allen, yes.
Grayson Allen, okay. So you feel it has to be like something egregious, non-basketball.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul does a little cheap shit, but I don't think he's dirty. I think he does.
Chris Paul is definitely.
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't seen egregious stuff for Chris Paul. Like I haven't seen Chris Paul do stuff that's gonna like jeopardize somebody's career. You know what I'm saying?
I see Chris Paul hitting niggas in the nuts. What?
That's not gonna stop my career. If you get nut checked, like that's crazy.
I've seen
that's crazy.
No,
I don't. Okay, so Damo. Okay,
so he retaliates by hitting him in the nuts, and that's
so Damo. That's egregious. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. Like when you put it that way, that's nuts, bro. That's nuts. So like literally, no pun intended. Hold on, real quick, Tigger. No pun intended. No pun intended. That's nuts. But I will say this. Hold up, bro. Let me say this. I wasn't really thinking about the like off the screen that like okay, nah, I don't like that. That's not cool. That's dirty. But no, I'm not defending nut checking. But what I will say is that's not gonna end your career. You know what I'm saying? But
your fathering career.
Undercutting somebody in the air, that's dirty. Stuff that Grayson Allen does, tripping people, kicking people, stuff Draymond Green does, kicking people, tripping people, hitting people in the air, that's dirty, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think stomping on somebody on the ground is going to jeopardize their career, Ox. I mean, hey,
you don't think stomping somebody in their ribs?
Sabonis got up and finished hooping, bro. He still played.
Damo, people have died from that.
Sabonis didn't.
All right, Damo, I see what's going on here. I
was here when it happened. After he stomped on him, that's the dirtiest stuff I've ever seen.
That's not the dirtiest, but it was crazy.
Like, all right, bro, he got up and still dropped 20. Like,
Damo, Draymond is like 250, 240. He's huge. You can't stomp on the man's chest. You could have, So I'm not trying to be funny right now. Let's get serious because I'm saying y'all seen what happened to the young man playing for the Bills. He got hit in his chest and really, almost died in front of all of us. You know what I'm saying?
They brought him back. They brought him back.
You stomp somebody in their chest like that, bro. You'll kill somebody, bro. That was crazy. Like I'm telling you, like I don't want nobody to ever go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Unless you do like some wild shit. But like that, he should have been prosecuted for that.
Draymond Green is vilified for stomping, but I've watched Chris Paul hit multiple sets of nuts, and that's just, I mean, hey.
No, that's dirty.
Like,
no,
right,
Damo. So that's dirty. But like I said, I wasn't thinking about the nut shots. When you brought that up, I'm like, okay, nah, that's wild. You can't do that off the screens. But at the same time, like I said, ain't nobody gonna like. You're not gonna be out for a year and a half because somebody nut checked you.
Yeah, it's different levels of dirtiness, but I think like dirty's dirty. Chris Paul do little stuff like Chris Paul slick too because he just savvy, so he'll do stuff that you don't see. He'll trip you. He'll do little things like that. The camera might not notice it, but as a basketball player, you know like what's going on. Moving along to the super chat, Styles Black said, Ox just said all that, and Damo literally just said what he was talking about. With people thinking he just be running around.
He do.
All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into some of these players. Drink More Water actually chimed in, and he threw a couple players out. But I want to hear from you guys about five impactful role players that you guys like. I'm gonna read the super chat first, and then we're gonna get into it. Drink More Water said some impactful role players: GP the second, DiVincenzo, KCP, Lopez. I'm assuming he's talking about Brooke. McDaniels, I'm assuming he's talking about Jaden. Adams, I'm assuming he's talking about Steven Adams. Herb Jones, Clint Capella, Bruce Brown, Bobby Portis, Derek White, etc. There's so many. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys how this topic came about. In case you don't know, Josh Hart just finalized a 4-year deal with the New York Knicks at $81 million a year. And I was like, man,
81 mil a year. God damn,
not
he's breaking the bank.
Not a year. 4-year, 81 mil.
Killing them.
Hey, he's not that impactful. He's not that impactful.
I was just thinking, Ron, man. Whoa.
But I'm like, man, Josh Hart really is one of the best role players in the league, and I don't think we give him as much credit as we should. And this is just after us talking about him on the USA team. Obviously, Ant saying he was the best player in the training camp and whatnot. Then I got to thinking, is Josh Hart the most impactful role player in the NBA? And initially started off as just bench players, but then I got to think about role players. So then I got to thinking about all the role players, and I wanted to hear from you guys. Who are some of the guys that you guys really value as role players? Not star players. We're not going to come up here and talk about them every day. Might not talk about them every week, but these dudes bring a lot of value to their team and could value other teams as well. Pirate, I want to start with you. Who's a role player or two that you like really value and who you think is very good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like Bob. I really like role players. I really like glue guys, and so I mean, there are a few names. I'd say Emmanuel Quickly. I think plays his role really well. He's efficient. He's got a motor. I always like. I think just as far as structure, I feel like it's really good to have a good backup point guard. I think that's solid for your team. I like Quickly. I like over in Bob's neck of the woods, Malik Monk plays his role really well. You know, pretty prototypical type player, which I think is good. You know, you can come off the bench and just keep things moving. Bobby Portis, really good. You know, lock down the front court. Tough.
Damo, you shaking your head to Bobby Portis?
Absolutely.
I think I saw a video with Damo talking about Bobby Portis before. I think I think he doesn't like Bobby Portis.
Hey, Damo, how did that campaign start? How did the F Bobby Portis campaign start?
It started. Oh yeah, the F Bobby Portis campaign started very easily. One day I was signing to Twitter and I got a ton of mentions saying, "Yo, Bobby Portis got a new podcast," and I'm like, "And all right, cool." I look it up. What's the name? It's called Keep It a Buck. Fuck Bobby Portis.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I mean, all right.
Business.
Okay, well, aside from that,
so outside, no. All jokes aside, it's all love of Bobby Portis, but like real shit, like fuck Bobby Portis.
That's wild.
But Damo, keep it a buck. Is Bobby Portis a good role player? Keep it a buck.
Man, look, man. Squidward cool, bro. Squidward's cool. He's cool. He cool, bro.
All right. Pirate though, keep going though. Who else you got?
Oh, I don't want to take up all the names for you know, I mean, yeah, I'm thinking. So Harrison Barnes, he's going to be coming off the bench this next year, right?
For Keegan Murray,
why would he be coming off the bench?
Does he play the 4?
Be starting? Who's going to be starting?
I'm pretty sure he's going to be starting just like last year.
Oh yeah. Well, even if he is starting, I mean, like,
hey, Pirate, hold on 1 second, Bob. Now, when I came in, man, I heard you on Helicap, man. And you talking about why I disagree. Bro, you say you don't know about Chris Paul, one of the world-renowned dirtiest players in the history of the NBA?
Filthy.
Chris
Okay.
Paul since Wake Forest been known as one of the dirtiest players in the history of basketball. One of the dirtiest. I can't believe he said that, bro. And it starts with punching dudes in the neck. He been suspended for doing that in college, and it started there. And I'm talking about undercutting dudes, hitting dudes in their nuts, all kind of stuff, bro. That Chris Paul has done. That some stuff you could have ended dude's career, but to me, it's more egregious when you take a fist, cock it up, and punch a dude right in his sack, bro. Come on, man.
Well, this my thing. Like I said, when I said that, I wasn't really thinking about the nut shots. When Damo said that, I'm like, okay, like that's crazy. I agreed with him, like, yo, that's wild. But what I was more so talking about is undercutting people. You know what I'm saying? Tripping people while, like, when you fall and somebody's running, tripping them, pushing people while they're about to take off. Things like that. Like that's what I was more so talking about. Shit like what Dwayne Wade did to Rajon Rondo.
He do all that
stuff
too.
like that.
No, he
You know what I mean?
works. All you gotta do is go type in Chris Paul dirty plays on YouTube. He works. He is worse.
That's my thing too, Ticket. Once I see Chris Paul, I see it and I go on. I'm not researching Chris Paul. I'm so off Chris Paul. Like I don't really. But I mean, you're right though. Y'all definitely right about that though. You know, I wasn't taking into account the little cheapy stuff. I was more so talking about like diving at somebody's knees, and if Chris Paul does that, you know, okay, that too. I'm just talking about undercutting people, sticking your doing Zaza type stuff, sticking your leg under them while they're shooting a three. You know, kicking people while you in the air, flailing and trying to hit people. You know, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was talking about stuff that'll really like jeopardize your career.
For sure. Let's keep it pushing on a role players tip. Chill. I'm gonna holler at you next. Who's some of the role players around the league that you think bring the most value to their team? And Pirate, I know you was naming a lot of like 6 men, but they don't necessarily have to be 6 men. They don't have to be or players off the bench. It's a lot of starters that are role players as well.
I think that how you impact your unit in terms of winning. I'm a big fan of guys like Jared Allen. I mean, there's a reason why Cleveland got one of the best defenses in the game, because they got one of the better rim protectors in the game in Jared Allen. I would love to see Alex Caruso, who I think is one of the best on-ball defenders in the game, play more. The only problem that I had with Alex Caruso being a first-team All-League defender is the fact that he didn't play that much. I didn't have a problem with him in terms of his defense, because I think he's one of the best on-ball defenders in the game. The fact that he barely played half the game, I got a problem with that. So I think he impacts the game if he plays more. You guys know I'm a Herb Jones stan. I think he's a starter on a championship team. He gives me Bruce Bowen vibes every time I watch him. And the more I watch him, he just looks like how much more impactful he can be on a team that's going to be really good, that a championship caliber team is looking at him going, we need that right there. He's perfect for what we doing. I love Herb Jones. So, and when you're talking about role players, you're talking about guys. I mean, everybody's a role player. Everybody is. Whether you want to believe it or not, everybody's a role player. But with that being said, those rotation guys, those dirty work guys, those are the guys who are the most impactful in order to us winning. Because for every LeBron James, for every Kobe Bryant, for every Michael Jordan, who's the guy diving on the floor for loose balls? Who's the guy in the huddle saying, can you score the rest of the points? Okay, I'll deal with 24. Don't worry about him. Who's that guy? The Marcus Smarts, the Avery Bradleys of the world. Those guys are those guys are the guys that I think about when I think about players being impactful. Because I already know what I'm getting from James. I already know what I'm going to get from Kobe Bryant. I already know what I'm going to get from Tim Duncan. I already know what I'm going to get from Giannis or Joker, guys like that. Those other guys are going to be the difference in us winning and losing.
Cool. Yo, Damo, you want to reel off some of the guys you feel?
Yeah, man. I'm a big role player advocate. So shout out to my guys like a Austin Reeves. Shout out to the guys, Kevon Looney, the Kevon Looneys of the world are probably one of my favorites. Someone said Malik Monk. I loved him on the Lakers. I hate him on the Kings. I will also D'Anthony Melton was another guy, reliable backup point guard. Chris Dunn, another reliable backup point guard. Dennis Smith Jr., who people don't like to talk about, but I like Dennis Smith Jr. DSJ is my guy. Another one. Oh yeah, probably the best role. Rudy Gobert, one of the better role players in the NBA. Definitely does his role at a high level. Probably the highest level role player in the NBA. Rudy Gobert. Who else we got out there? Rui Hachimura. I don't want to put too many Lakers up there. Rui is another one who did work. I would say.
Just name the whole Lakers roster. Go ahead.
That's what I was about to
Like,
say. Don't stop there. Just that's what I just was about to say.
Jose Alvarado.
Let's go.
I
Jose
want
Alvarado, that's a great one.
I want to
Yes.
name a Pelican. Jose Alvarado. He's definitely up there too. I respect Jose's game.
I want to
Like what
swing
he
on
brings.
him, to be honest with you. I want to swing on him for
Oh
real.
God, what did Jose do?
Oh my goodness, he's one of them dudes.
Oh, man.
I love his game, but he's one of them dudes.
People, I ain't gonna lie.
Mhm.
When we that weekend when we went to DreamCon, we had a little basketball event. I seen a dude pulling the Jose Alvarado where it was the inbound. He's sitting off to the side and like running up and trying to still.
It worked.
The amount of people like doing that now, crazy impact on the game. He's coming off the bench, that kind of impact. Jose's out there. I would say Malcolm Brogdon is still one of my favorite role players. Legacy wise, I understand it's been a downtick.
Man, you fucking all the role players, Damo. How many role players you
sound
got?
My fault. Hey, I mess with role players, bro. They out there.
Ticket is
I'm
is
saying,
Damo
but
to
you
do
took-
that to cookout.
How many
Ticket
we
is
supposed to name? As many as we want?
like one or two. Is
I
Ticket
didn't
is
know.
Damo to do that? Is Damo to do that to cookout?
Yeah, you taking everything, man.
All right. And both the Bogdanoviches. And both the Bogdanoviches. They're both my guys.
Yes.
Both
Damn, he took both the Bogdanoviches. You taking everything.
Hey, Ticket,
We eat too?
Pirate
Damn.
name 15 and then Damo name 30.
We hungry too, B.
There's no more people
No,
out
but
there.
hey, look,
I named like 4.
Hey Bob, I got one that Damo didn't even talk about. I got one that's better than all them dudes that Damo didn't talk about. I can't believe he said Big Dummy from T-Wolves, but Bobby Portis is better than him. Bobby Portis is one of the best
I
role
already
players.
named Portis. I already took Portis. I already said
Talk about
Portis.
him. No, we could talk about him. Why you think he's one of the best role players? Ticket. Keep it a buck.
Because he
Bobby
punches
Portis-
dudes in the
Bobby Portis is the
face.
best role player in the world. First of all, Bobby Portis a goon. Secondly, so he gonna do all the other stuff. First of all, Bobby Portis a goon, gonna do all the dirty work. Secondly, Bobby Portis is a guy who's highly skilled. Bobby Portis can play. He can shoot the three, play in the post, rebound, everything. He can do everything.
You don't gotta keep saying his name. We know who
I
you're
would
talking
like to.
about, man.
I want
We know who you're
to.
talking about, man.
I want to take maybe. I'm not sure right now. I'm not sure how he's doing, how he bounced back, but I would like to talk about maybe a season or two ago. I would like to shout out Dario Saric first because I do believe the Phoenix Suns were Dario Saric away from having a much better performance in the finals.
He did tear his knee up in the finals. Yeah, he did.
Also, we were talking about this guy a little earlier at the beginning of the show. Pirate Nemanja Bjelica. I love Nemanja.
Yeah, I did too.
Then also, I mean, obviously we got Jeremy Grant. I think Jeremy Grant needs some love. If he was on a better team, I think he could help a team win the championship.
Question. I got a question, Ox. When I say everybody's a role player, for example, De'Aaron Fox, what's his role on the crew?
To keep the tempo, apply pressure at the rim, and just kind of just disrupt the passing lanes.
Right.
Make sure Sabonis gets the ball.
Yeah. What's Sabonis' role on the team?
Rebound.
Right.
Just clog up the paint, rebound, and distribute from the high post.
So he does have a role, which makes him a role player.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with your statement, Chill. I've said that before. I think even stars, it's semantics, but even superstars are role players.
Right. Everybody's got a role on the crew.
Yeah,
everybody's a role player.
But he's supposed to get you almost 18 to 20 a game too, right? So he ain't he ain't just a role player. He's a star. I disagree.
Yeah,
you got stars.
It's just semantics.
Hold, Ticket. You got what, Ticket?
You got stars and you got role players. Your stars on your team are supposed to be able to carry you and do different things. Like Sabonis to me is one of the stars on that team. He's one of the dudes that's supposed to help carry and do a little bit of everything. Your role players are specialty guys like you shooting threes. Oh, you a hustle man. Oh, you a rebounder. Oh, you a shot blocker. That's to me a role player. Like a role player is a dude who does one thing. A star is somebody who you lean on.
Which is fair. Which is fair. However, Ticket, which is fair, Ticket. But with that being said, you just said a star. I am a starring. That's my star. I'm a starring role in here. That's my job as a role player. I'm the star. That's my role. Now, role player. What we get when we talk about role players. We get confused with just dirty work guys, and they aren't just dirty work guys. James Worthy was a role player. but he was in a starring role as that guy. He wasn't just a dirty work guy. Say it again.
Any of y'all ever been in any theater, drama, any plays or anything? Yeah, so it's like when that's when you're the star, like for Romeo and Juliet. If you're Romeo, that's the lead role.
What's your role?
It's a role. It's a lead role. So I get it's just semantics. Like I get what you're saying, and I get what you're saying too, Ticket. I think both are true. It just kind of depends on how you want to talk about it. But I also wanted to shout out a couple more real quick. Jordan Clarkson. I think Jordan Clarkson, and then a guy that has gotten a lot of hate. Harrison Barnes, but Harrison Barnes is the glue of our squad. I wish he could have just knocked down that damn shot, but whatever. Man.
Ain't gonna leave nobody.
We've seen this before from Harrison. That's how he ended up in Sacramento, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, that's how he ended up in Dallas, and then we plucked.
Which he ended up in Sacramento. So.
But Damo, I don't want to harp on what you said, but you really made me upset when you said Rudy Gobert. Like he literally had teammates fighting him this year because he wasn't playing well. He wasn't doing his role. He literally had teammates ready to punch him in his. Well, he had to punch one of his teammates because his teammates was disrespecting him as a man because he wouldn't do his role. So I don't think he's one of the better role players. I think he wasn't. They were screaming and hollering at him because he wouldn't block shots.
Wasn't that around like
no? That was in the playoffs.
That was right. That was around the playing game.
No, that was in the playing. That was right in the playing. For him and old boys snapping on him. Yeah, he's snapping on it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I loved it.
I
wish more people would punch Rudy Gobert.
I think Austin Reeves one of the best role players in the league. I think him and Bobby Porter's one of the best role players in the league. Because anytime you can do what Austin Reeves do around LeBron and AD, guys like that, like superstars, like we always talk about guys who don't deliver. But when you can take under the pressure and deliver, bro, you big time, bro. And I like guys like that. I like guys like Malik Monk who unafraid, who deliver. Because everybody always talk about, guys can't play their game around LeBron. That's BS. Because you've seen guys like Austin Reeves, seen guys like Malik Monk. These guys get in there, they don't care. They're going to rock however. You understand? Like chill time about Maxey. It don't matter who Maxey playing with. Maxey going to rock. You know what I'm saying? So I like guys like
y'all don't
forget, can't do that, bro.
Y'all don't forget Norman Powell. I forgot to say Norman Powell.
Y'all just ain't gonna leave nobody for Mars, man. Mars.
I didn't want anybody
he's got the
else.
The whole Rockets roster to choose from.
Yeah, fact.
I didn't want anybody to say.
And the Warriors too.
Norman Powell. Norman Powell's not. He should be a star somewhere.
And also, Mars, you can feel free to pick somebody that's already been picked. But go ahead. You got the court.
Has Josh Green been picked?
Nope.
Nope.
I like Josh Green's game a lot. Good defender, smart, attacks closeouts, connected passer, can shoot the ball. Has Derek White been picked?
Nope.
That's criminal.
Yeah, I like Derek White a lot. I think he was Boston's best guard defender this season, which says a lot. I think he's very good, shoots the ball very well, made a game winner in the playoffs, so good on him.
That was a hell of a play too.
Has Kevon Looney been said?
Yeah, I said Looney.
Damn.
Kevon Olajuwon.
Facts. Has Walker Kessler been said?
No.
Just by you.
Okay, yeah, I like him. Great rim protector, great rebounder, runs the floor well, finish around the rim.
I think Thaddeus Young's still in the league, Mars.
Nice. Good.
Is Thaddeus Young still serviceable like that though, Big Ox? Because like I said, I know how you feel about guys like Thaddeus Young, right? I know how you feel about guys like Bobby Portis. Is Thaddeus Young still that? Because he was that a couple of years ago.
Yeah. No, I think that's done. I think that
he's a veteran leader. That's what he is.
But 3 seasons ago, he still had a little juice left.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, y'all remember how good Thaddeus Young was with the Sixers?
Let's
Ron, what do you mean?
Yeah,
no,
let's have some
Ron,
Magic Johnson.
No.
Okay, fine.
You're muted though, Ron. But like Thaddeus Young was really.
Turn your mic on, Ron. Turn your mic on, Ron. Yeah, now you hot.
I don't want to bash Thaddeus Young, so I'm trying to let Mars finish what he got going on.
Even in Indiana, Thaddeus Young was the man. No, carry on, Mars. My bad.
Has Nick Claxton been said?
Yep.
By you, Mars. By you.
Nah, chill. You said Nick Claxton earlier.
I did not say Nick Claxton.
No, I didn't.
No, I did not.
He said
someone said Nick Claxton.
No, he said
Oh,
Cleveland.
maybe I was reading chat.
I
He said Jarrett Allen. He said Jarrett
Jarrett
Allen.
Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Claxton's another one. I think Nick Claxton might be a defensive player of the year candidate this year. Whether he won't win, but I think he might be like in the running. So I'm assuming Jaden McDaniels has already been said. That's why I'm not saying his name. I've probably run out of names. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Ayo Dosunmu. I don't know if he's been said. I like Ayo Dosunmu. Yeah, I've run out of names. That's what
Wow. None of us
got. Okay.
None of us said Bruce Brown.
Yeah, Bruce Brown was actually. So
I'd assume one of you guys had said Bruce.
No, I didn't say any names from the super chat because I know McDaniels was there, Clint Capella was there, Bruce Brown was there.
That's right.
Those are a couple names in that super chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Mars,
if Nick Tyus Jones too, that's
Mars,
a good one.
Yeah, I'm good.
Mars, if Nick Claxton is going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, there's a bunch of guys that he's going to have to jump when I think about him being in that category. So I think Brook Lopez drops. So I'll give you that. So you got Jaren Jackson, you got Evan Mobley, you got Bam Adebayo, you got OG Anunoby, you got Giannis. Let's see, who else am I thinking about when I think about the Defensive Player of the Year? Your guy, Jaden McDaniels. Let's see, who else am I thinking about? Those are just guys off the top of my head when I think about the Defensive Player of the Year. So when you say he's going to be in the running, is he going to be a top 5 candidate? Is he going to be a top 10 candidate? What are you saying?
He'll finish top 5. It will be based on the 65 game limit, which will probably hold Anthony Davis out. It will be some assortment of Bam, Claxton. Who's the other big you said? Evan Mobley, Triple J, those 4, and then the 5th one probably be Giannis, and then AD would be top 5 instead of Giannis if he plays the 65 games. But I'm just assuming he won't. It will be those 5 guys in
Mars, can Wemby and Chet get some love in there, or they're not ready yet?
Come on, let's see him play.
They'll be in the running for all defense. Like I think they'll probably be like top 10 defensive player of the year candidates. Depending on games played, which both of them won't play 65. Right. But if they did, I think they'd be top 10 candidates.
You don't think
August 10th?
65?
August 10th. 65. August 10th, Mars 2023. Anthony Davis plays 65 games this year. I'm going on record.
I think it's possible. I just don't. It depends how much he cares for the accolades. In my opinion, that's the only thing that will.
Right.
I think he's going to be relatively healthy this year. But I think it just does. I think it depends on if he cares to be an all defensive guy and plays 65 instead of 62. Like that's how I'm viewing it.
What's good,
hey, does anyone know? Like, is there any stipulation? Like, if they just start a guy and he plays like 3 minutes and then he doesn't play the rest of the game, like, are they still going to count that as a game? So I think that's probably gonna start happening. Like
they've done that
more frequently.
10 seconds.
Say that again, Mars.
You have to play 20 minutes for the game to count.
Okay.
So you got to play almost half the game. I like that.
Wait,
so it ain't
how
just
is that
checking
fair?
in the game. Okay.
How is that fair for like guys on the bench is getting like 13 to 17 minutes a night? How is that?
They ain't making no all NBA teams or all the
that's for the all teams.
Like it will still count as a game played. Yeah, it still counts as a game played, but
so does that count for sixth man of the year? Do you still have to do 20 minutes again?
I only know about that for all NBA and all defense. I don't know about.
I feel like I mean, how many 6 men aren't playing at least 20 minutes?
Right. Plenty.
But as a 6 man,
on average, but like for every single game, that could affect. That could really affect.
If you got to have 65 games of plus 25 minutes, let's say you miss 10. Let's say you miss. Let's call it 7 games of injury, and then so now you're down to what? Because they play 82, so now you're down to 75. So then in those games, you never know what could happen. The 8th or 9th man might be having a really good game. They might take up some of your minutes, some of those games. So
and you could play like 17 minutes, 18 minutes.
I don't think that's good for the 6 man.
In the last 10 years or the last 10 6 men, how many of them did not get? And Mars said 20 minutes. He even said 25. He said 20 minutes a game. How many of those guys didn't get at least 20 minutes a game as these 6 men?
But
I bet a lot of them, like maybe not the average, but individual games.
Ox is saying it's not 20 minutes a game. Like A six-man might play 29 minutes one game, and then due to rotations or he might be in foul trouble, he plays 16 the next.
Yeah.
A 16-minute game won't count towards his All-NBA.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
would bet that
even
happens
though when
a
you average it
lot.
out, he's averaging 23.
That's tough, man.
And what if you miss 8 games to injury though? You know what I'm saying? So then that takes you. That means of those. So what I said 7 at first, right? So that's 75. That means in 10 games of your while you're healthy, you can't play under 20 minutes, bro. That's no.
Yeah,
good
it's tough for 6-man.
That's no good.
And I'm sure they got a guy tracking that too. I'm sure they got a guy tracking those numbers. Like, all right, he's got to play 25 minutes tonight minimum.
Yeah.
In order to still be in the running for that, I'm sure that they're gonna have a guy
and then chill. That see when that starts happening, that's when I'm kind of like, man, this is not. I'm not gonna say it's messing up the game, but that stuff dictates too much of. Well, okay, well, if I'm coaching, I'm like, well, that's not the matchup. I know you need to play 25 minutes a game, but I need to win this game, and that's just not the matchup today. So now it puts pressure on the coach. It gets the locker room frustrated at the coach. It's kind of like in football with incentives and stuff. Like now I got running backs and wide receivers mad at the play calling, mad at the quarterback. It's like, yo, I need 6 more receptions. I'll get my 100 bands. Give me the ball. It's like, bro, but you're over there. Well, I'm gonna take it back a little bit. You over there with with Reeves. You over there with Ty Law. I'm not throwing the ball over there. You know what I'm saying? So that's just I don't know. That's the only problem I have with certain incentives, especially towards the end of the season.
That's a good point. Yeah,
which does make sense. But then you also got to take under consideration who they're playing against, because I did watch Tom Brady find out that Rob Gronkowski needs 2 more receptions and he gets $1 million extension. We getting him the football.
Right.
We're going to throw whoever's covering him. It doesn't make a difference. I'm throwing him the football. If he gets these 2 or 5 more receptions, wherever he gets it from, whether it's a slant, whether it's a go route, doesn't make a difference. He's getting the football because we're going to get him paid.
Yeah,
W quarter.
I feel like it's going to come down to where teams or where these guys are at later on in the season. I feel like at the beginning of the season, teams are going to play it as normal. There's going to be a normal, normal rotations and stuff like that.
Right.
But once you get to that last little stretch, and it's like award race time, like, okay, these are the guys, these 10 guys are in the running for this award. I feel like that's when it's going to start becoming like, all right, for the 6-man award, like, all right, if you really want it and it's doable, we're going to make it happen. If the team likes the guy, they're going to make it happen. And also, if a team don't want to pay a guy, he's getting pulled out at 19 and a half minutes every game, yanked, because we're not trying to pay that money.
Happens.
But if we like this guy, if we like our Austin Reeves, hey, man, I don't care what the situation is. Like Chill said, we're going to get you we're going to get you that extension. We're going to get you that award if we care about you. So you're going to see
what's more important though, Damo? What's more important?
The team. If you're the Orlando Magic, and Markelle Fultz has a chance to get 6-man of the year, you're not in the position to compete like for a championship, or you're not about to be in the play-in. Yeah. Get Markelle.
Well, yeah, that's so. I'm obviously not talking. I'm obviously not talking about that type of situation.
But if I'm talking about if the Suns are 1 seed, I mean, even honestly, I think the only teams that'll be affected are the teams that are fighting for playing spots. Fighting for playing spots, and it is very situational. I don't know any team who's going to be in a playing situation where their 6-man doesn't match any rotation. Like I can't think of a 6-man who just. I mean, in history, there's obviously guys where it's like, all right, we can't put Jamal Crawford in. We can't put Jamal Crawford because he don't play defense, I guess, in that situation. But for the most part, a lot of 6-men, they're playable in every situation. That's why you're the 6-man. If you're the 8th, 9th man, then it's kind of tricky with where do we play you for real. But if you're the 6-man, you're going to get those minutes. Unless it's foul trouble or injury, you're going to get those minutes.
So if you're
but not every game to game, If
you are Pirate, that's why you're the rotation guy.
Look up the last.
But I'm saying, like, I bet a lot of games you're going to get like 19 minutes, 18 minutes. You'll probably get close, but like to consistently get 20 minutes every game for 65.
Last history of 6-men. They play consistently.
What about the Bucks? What about the Bucks playing the Lakers? Like, okay, so for instance, we got. The Bucks got Giannis, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday out there, right?
Right.
So Bobby Portis is the guy going for the 6-man, but Lumpy got the three guards out there with LeBron and Rui Hachimura. Is Bobby Portis out here moving his feet with D'Angelo Russell? No. So now, now we sit him down, bring in I don't know, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, if they're still on the team. I'm pretty sure they're still on the roster, right?
Right.
You bring Grayson Allen in there to play those minutes now. So these is the only things I'm talking about though, Damo. Like if we're now, I know the Bucks probably won't be in this situation, but for instance, let's say they're fighting for seeding. They want that 2 seed so they can play the Bulls. They don't want to go 3 seed. They don't want to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they want to win this game. Am I gonna be like, nah, we'll play Cleveland instead of Chicago just because I want to make sure Bobby has an opportunity to get this incentive or this and that. But Bobby's out there getting cooked by D'Angelo. Like that's where I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, Bobby, I love you, but this is 6-man shit is not in the cards for you this year. You know, that's the only reason I'm saying situations like that.
But if Lumpy goes ahead and puts up the 3-guard lineup and you have LeBron and AD at center, I mean, again, and this will show which organizations really care about what the players want versus what the organization want. Now, the Bucks can easily run out there and they can go Drew, Middleton, Grayson Allen, Giannis, Bobby Portis. They can do that lineup. Now, will that be the most optimized defensive unit? We'll have to see. Now, they'll have to determine, hey, man, how long can we let Bobby Portis get cooked on this switch from AD to D'Angelo? How long can we let him get cooked before we decide, hey, us winning this 2 seed is more important than him getting his incentive and getting this award that he wants? It's really circumstantial to the franchise. In that situation, I think it's realistic for them to pull Brook Lopez out and put Bobby in as long as Bobby's playing a good game. Now, Bobby's getting cooked. Hey, man, it's tough. This is a business. That's when you sit down. Hey, man, you 30 years old. You understand this is a business game. You're getting cooked. We're trying to get the 2nd seed, and it's understood from that aspect. But if he's playing good, Bobby's going to want to be in the game. They're going to want Bobby in the game, and the matchups work.
But if we're at that juncture of the season where we're fighting for the number 2 seed, there's a reason why we're fighting for the number 2 seed. It ain't just because Giannis is doing what Giannis is doing. It ain't just because Brook Lopez. It's because we got the best rotation player in the game. So now that we're at this juncture of the season, we're not just going to completely switch up. He's in the running for 6th man of the year. There's a reason why he's in the running for 6th man of the year, because he's an integral part of what we're doing. So now we playing against, I don't know, the Washington Wizards, and he gets switched on to Porzingis. We're not just going to yank him out the game because Porzingis is cooking him. No, we're going to adjust and we're going to keep him on the floor because we need him in order to win. Now, does that coincide with him winning the 6th man of the year? Absolutely. And the reason why is because, again, that's why we're in the position that we're in. So it's more of a guy being integral to what we're doing, which is why we're going as far as we're going. So when you're talking about a guy being a 6th man of the year, when we get to that juncture of the season, there's a reason why we're there.
Can I say the last couple again, and this is just a list of the last men to win 6th man of the year, and you tell me were they not repeatedly, no matter what the situation was, playable and playing for that team because of their role? Malcolm Brogdon, Tyler
26
Hero,
minutes a game, 32, almost 33 minutes a game.
Jordan Clarkson,
I think 28 minutes a game, something like that.
Montrezl Harrell,
something like
Lou Will twice with the Clippers.
Yes, he played like 26. He played like 25, 26 minutes a game, something like that.
Eric Gordon on the Rockets.
Yep.
Jamal Crawford on the Clippers. Lou Will on the Raptors. Jamal Crawford on the Clippers. J.R. Smith on the Knicks. That's the last game.
What we got to make sense, what we got to make sure we understand is when you like, for example, when Lou Williams comes in the game, we know who Lou Williams is. There is no series. Totally. There is no situation where he's unplayable. He is the bucket getter. And we are going to protect him defensively, but we need him as our bucket getter off the bench. So there's no situation where he's not playing in the series. That's not happening.
No. I mean, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect because I completely agree. And I agree that like the winner will average over the 20 minutes. But I'm pretty sure like if you go through, if the cutoff is 65 games, you have to play 65 games where all 65 games you played over 20 minutes. I would bet if you look back, there are going to be a lot of games where you play 18 minutes, you play 19 minutes. So you're going to average over 20 minutes. I completely agree. The winner most likely is definitely going to average over 20 minutes. But to average over 20 minutes, there's a high likelihood that you don't hit that cutoff of 65 games where all 65 games you played over 20 minutes.
That was my point.
That's
exactly.
But the difference with what you just said, Pirate, those 18, 19 minutes, those get averaged out because there might be nights when I got it going. And those 18, 19 minutes.
But that's
it's not
that's what I'm saying. It does get averaged out, but the requirement is that all 65. If you play a game and you only play 19 minutes, now that game doesn't count. So if you You see what I'm saying? So
Do I
it's
have
like
to play
you're
him
gonna
do I have to-
average over 20 minutes.
That's
see
what I'm
you're
saying. Do I have
You
to? Do I have
play
to?
the
Every
amount of
game I
minutes.
got to play over
Every
20 minutes,
game.
or do I have to
Every
average
game
that?
you
Every
You
every
gotta
game
play.
that
20
counts,
minutes.
you have to play over 20
But
minutes.
again,
I gotta
That's
play
the
over 20
requirement.
But
It's tough.
this is what I'm saying. In terms of, and I will understand when y'all's like, I will understand the pause if we're talking about the 7th, 8th, 9th man on these teams. Religiously, the 6th man is going to play a good. They're going to play more than 20 minutes. That is a known thing. There is
And
no
Dumbo, I
6th
agree.
man not
I
playing
would
20
bet
minutes.
that the majority of the games you're going to play over 20 minutes. But like Bob said, we're talking a limited. You're starting 82 is the very max. So every
You're gonna
injured
miss some
game
games. You're
doesn't
gonna be
count.
hurt.
Every rest game doesn't count. So then you're probably cutting it down to like
I feel what y'all saying.
75, 73 games, and now out of that you have to play 65 games where each game you're playing over 20 minutes, and that's tough. I think that's going to be tough for a lot of.
I ain't gonna lie. The narrative is gonna matter. So and I'm just using this name as an example. If Kendrick Perkins feels like, hey man, I want Bobby Portis to win this damn 6th man of the year. I don't care if the last 10 games of the season he only played 15 minutes as a 6th man. I want Bobby Portis. The narrative that we're running with since February is how great of a 6th man and how useful Bobby Portis is. Let's not forget how much narratives matter when we talk about these
Totally.
votings as well. So that's another thing that's going to play a part of it. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to squeak by a couple games. You're going to have somebody win a 6th man. They're going to be like, wait, he only played more than 20 games for 63 games. Bro,
Exactly. That's the thing. I think a lot
Kendrick
of people
don't care.
get close but not make it. And I hate external factors affecting like how you run a game. Hey, chill. It's got me thinking about that the scoring title race between David Thompson and George Gervin, where last game of the season they're within like 0.1 of each other, and they both go off for 70 because both teams are just feeding both of them the entire game.
Who got it? Who got it?
This George Gervin ended up winning it, and
George Gervin got it by like 0.01.
He had to get 59 in order to win it. And I think he got like 60 something. And this is what I'm talking about.
They both went for 70. I think they both went for 70 that night.
Because Mars talks about how guys in today's game, how they might not care about accolades. When I think it depends. He didn't say that they might not. He said it depends on whether or not they care about accolades, which I think that's a big deal. And the reason why I feel like that's a big deal, Mars, number one, I do think it's a part of their contract. Like if I end up making an All-NBA team, that's an extra $500,000 for me. If we make the playoffs, that's an extra $250,000. I think that these things do matter when you're talking about guys. When you're talking about guys getting accolades, and a prime example would be David Robinson in 1994. David Robinson edged out Shaq to win the scoring championship. What he needed in order for them to win, he ended up with 71 points in order for them to win. That wasn't a coincidence, considering the Clippers had the worst team in the league. He did not even have to play in that game, but they went to him on the regular in order for him to get that. So these guys do care about that sort of stuff. 100% that they do.
Yo, just want to inform everybody that in our Discord we have a new 2K channel. So, you know, if you're a gamer, if you like 2K, PS5, Xbox, whatever, go
level 40 goated.
Yeah, go jump into that channel, Pirate. It's about to get real active.
I guess it's back to level 1 now. I think they're starting a new season.
But before we get into this tier list, I got a couple super chats that I want to read off. So let's go ahead and do that. Right from the biggest super chat, MP3 said, "Big love for PC. Been working, fellas, and y'all keep me in the loop. Shout out to Chill for not letting the older players get disrespected, but is objective. My generation's so silly with that."
I can't just sit around and watch a dude that's nice and go, man, listen, he ain't better than this dude, and not even pay attention. Like I can't watch Herb Jones as a defender and go, man, Herb Jones is a good defender. No, I think Herb Jones is awesome. I can't watch a great player like Giannis and go, well, he ain't better than Dominique Wilkins. I'd be really disingenuous in that. I have to pay attention to these guys and be objective. Otherwise, it's ridiculous to even say anything.
C-Note, the one and only, said, "Chill. Tony Allen averaged the same amount of minutes as Alex Caruso did last season. Do you have a problem with him being voted first team all defense?
Absolutely, I do. Just like I got a problem with Michael Cooper winning the defensive player of the year in the 86 when he only played, I think, 24 minutes or 26 minutes a game. When Michael Jordan is winning the defensive player of the year, he playing 40 minutes a game. When Gary Payton is winning the defensive player of the year, and he's playing 38, 39 minutes a game. When these guys are winning the defensive player of the year and they making the all-league defensive team, they're at the top of the league at their position in minutes. When you barely playing half the game, I already gave you the logic of why I got a problem with it. When you only playing 22, 23 minutes, that's a problem for me as opposed to a guy that's standing in front of you from start to finish and he has the assignment. Is Alex Caruso a great on-ball defender? Does he affect the defense? Absolutely he does. Tony Allen, is he a great defender? Does he affect the defense? Absolutely he does. My issue is when these guys are not on the floor as long as they should be, it's taken away from the defenders because we start talking about these guys like we talk about the other great defenders when you didn't play that much.
Y'all not finna do Chilltown like that either, man. That's my brother right there. And I seen yesterday in the comments section where dudes was coming in, and Chill already told y'all this ain't about no race and none of that stuff either, man. I seen people saying it in the comment section after the video was over with yesterday. Like, y'all cut that out, man. This ain't about race, dog. When we talk strictly about basketball, bro. Like it's diverse individuals on Players' Choice. So why would anything be racist if you got diverse people that's on Players' Choice? You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
Mars
real quick.
England. Mars is from England.
Quick question, Ticket. How many players in the NBA do you have better than Luka Doncic right now?
Not many. Probably about. Yeah, I couldn't legitimately name you 15 players better than him out of 500, and that's saying something. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't name 50. I couldn't try to name 15 out of 500 that's better than him. So, you know, like I said before, man, it's not about that. They try to make it. If you go back and look at that comment section yesterday after the video, they trying to make it like Chill was talking about race when he was talking about. I think he was talking about. I think Chill and Bob. We was talking about. What's that boy from the Lakers we was talking about yesterday?
Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves. Yeah. They're trying to make it seem like we hate on him. That don't make That don't make no sense because then y'all turned around and y'all killed Bob and Mars for putting Larry Bird over KD. So that don't make no sense. That defeats all.
I think some of those people. I think some of those people were probably joking over just the age-old tradition of comparing one white player to another white player. No, I'm sure there was some other crap in there.
It wasn't joking. Go back and look at the real comment section after the video.
I mean, I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
I looked at that, bro. I didn't like that, bro.
Anybody that know me, I mean, Mars and I have gone back and forth with this about how much I love Larry Bird. Mars, who do I think is the second best point guard ever?
John Stockton.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that knows me knows how I feel about white players. I mean, basketball is the one game. Basketball is the one game that only one question is asked when you step on the floor, no matter how you look. Can he play? I don't care about you being from England. I don't care about you being from wherever you're from. Can he play? Bet.
I mean, I think that's really just sports in general, you know? I mean, like I played rugby for 10 years. I think that's what's great about sports because sports is, you know, it's just you go out there and you play with whoever can play. That's how it goes.
Next super chat. ASAP Henny said, where would Prime Clay rank today in this league right now?
The exact same spot he ranks now?
Yeah, he was pretty much Clay last year. Like defense fell off a little bit, but I mean,
talking about like what 15, 16 Clay.
Yeah,
are we talking about
2019 is probably Prime Clay.
Okay, so that's 2019. Is that a top 20 player in today's game?
Not close. Respectfully, but not
in terms of shooting guards. Where does he rank?
Prime Clay.
2019 Clay. Is he better than Devin Booker today?
No.
Yeah.
Is he better? Take he better than Devin Booker. You think he better than?
I'm saying no. I'm saying that. Hold on. I'm saying that based off truth because again, Devin Booker wasn't showing us nothing until Chris Paul went over there. Devin Booker was putting up 27, 28. He was scoring 70 in game. He was scoring 70 in game and getting the hell beat out of him every year. So I mean, they was winning 18 games. So in the day Chris and then everybody says, "Oh, Ticket, well they won in the bubble." Man, that's the bubble, man. The day Chris Paul went over there, they went to the NBA Finals, bro. Come on, man. And Devin Booker had been in the league multiple years. He had been scoring points. He had been crying about not being on the All-Star team when he was losing, getting the hell beat out of him when he shouldn't have been there, which was right. So, again, man, like I said before, bro, hey, I think Klay Thompson, I think his impact, the fact that we've seen Klay Thompson at his peak, I think that he was just at his peak. I think he was better than what Devin Booker. I think we're seeing Devin Booker through different lenses because he's playing with great players. I think if you told Devin Booker to go to the Wizards right now and lead the team, no. But hold on, listen what I'm saying though. I'm saying if you told both of them to go to the Wizards right now and lead the team, it'd be about the same result. Because I don't think either one of them by themselves got that type of impact where they can just carry a franchise. But I like Klay better because Klay defends.
All right, but where y'all got Ticket? Where do you think Prime Klay would rank in terms of shooting guards today?
Oh, he'd be in the top 3 because Prime Klay plays both ends of the ball.
You'd have to be number 1.
Yeah. Well, Prime Klay plays both ends of the ball. See, this is one thing we can't take away from Klay. We praise Devin Booker because he's putting up all these numbers, but he don't play defense like Prime Klay was playing. Devin Booker's in his prime right now. He don't play D like that.
He was playing pretty good defense in the playoffs.
No, he won't play.
I'm saying, hold on, with his homeboys with him. I've seen a lot of dudes tough with the 30 niggas with him. When you got to stand out there by yourself, do you look that tough?
The only person playing better defense than him that series, with the Clippers was Westbrook.
No. Listen what I'm saying. You never seen Devin Booker. You never associated his name with defense. Any time that they didn't have Chris before they had Chris Paul, you never associated him with that. What we saw a Curry who wasn't doing what he was doing, and when Klay came in the league, everything changed for the Warriors. These are facts. I'm not saying he made.
Those are not facts.
Hey, don't know that facts. Don't know that facts. Stop facts.
Hold on. So the Warriors didn't change. The Warriors didn't change as a team when Klay Thompson joined the team. The Warriors didn't change and start becoming a winning franchise.
Absolutely.
Okay, so hold on. So that's all I'm saying. Hold on.
They had the number 7 pick in 2012. What?
He had other dudes. He had other dudes around him putting up 20 down. Hold on, Dom.
He said right away.
Hold on. Curry had other dudes around him putting up numbers, but they weren't playing defense. They didn't give it to you on both ends of the court like that. That's why they weren't such a great team, because you had dudes that play offense, but they wasn't playing no defense. They were selfish on the court as far as on both ends. So when you take that into, and how do I know? I know because my best friend was playing on the goddamn team, Reggie Williams. So I know these is facts. You understand what I'm saying? So when you got Klay brings a different dimension. Klay was going to play defense he's going to play on the wing. He going to guard whether it was LeBron, whether it was Kobe, whether it was KD. He guarding all those guys in his prime. You ain't see none of them other dudes that Steph was playing with. They're not taking that chance. Monta Ellis was not trying to jump on Kobe. Monta Ellis was too small to jump on these other guys.
Oh, yeah.
And for a second there, didn't they have Steven Jackson? Didn't they have Stack 5 on the team for a second there too, Pirate?
Yeah, for like a year. Yeah.
Right, and he was a defensive guy. Why they wasn't stopping nobody that year? So when Klay comes in, now everything changes. When Klay comes in, because Klay, he gets on guys defensively at his peak.
So Mars,
go ahead.
Keep going, Ticket.
But before they were 27th in defense. I guess it just all changed. I guess
even if that's true, Mars, even if that's true, Mars, today is he better than 2019 Klay? This is the best version of him, is what you're telling me. Is he better than Devin Booker? Yes or no?
No.
Is he better than Anthony Edwards? Yes or no?
See, so he's gonna be a top shooter.
What did he say for? What did he say for Devin Booker? Did he say yes or no? Did he say he better than Devin Booker? Or no?
He said yes. He did.
Oh, so he
said
thinks
no.
He
said no. No. He said
hold on.
no.
So Mars. Okay, so you don't think that's
okay? So wait a minute, Mars. We're not done. Is he better than Donovan Mitchell? I still didn't get an answer on Anthony Edwards yet, but is he better than Donovan?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know Donovan Mitchell. No, he's not better than Donovan Mitchell.
So we got an incomplete on Anthony Edwards. We got a yes on. We got a no on Devin Booker. We got a no on Donovan Mitchell. Right. So what other two guards are we talking about in the league? Is he better than Irv?
Man, come on, man.
No, he's not better.
Okay, so he ain't better than Irv. So who else does that leave us with?
Shit, respecting dudes that play both sides of the ball, man. You're not
right.
Jaylen Brown.
You're not respecting all them other dudes you named. Don't play both sides of the ball.
Is he? How about Jaylen Brown?
Yeah. I want to hear Jaylen Brown.
Klay's better than Jaylen Brown.
Okay, so at minimum, right now, what
He's
we
not better
talking
than
about, Mark?
SGA. He's not better than SGA. He's not better than SGA.
Okay,
He's better than he. So that would put him what, fourth?
Donovan Mitchell. You said Donovan Mitchell. You said Booker. You said SGA, and
then
you said
Anthony
Irv.
Edwards. And Anthony Edwards, I don't know. And Kyrie.
You're not sure, so that's an incomplete. So at minimum, he's a top 5.
I said 5 or 6. I said that. I was right. Yeah. See.
Even
I
though
don't understand how y'all putting him. I don't understand y'all putting dudes that don't play that deep over Clay like that, over Pete Clay.
Yeah, facts, man. That's why John Stockton's over Magic Johnson. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
No. But Mars, hold on. Listen what I'm saying. I'm not trying to troll, bro. I'm just saying we taking a dude. I'm gonna say it again. Clay's defense, did that not heavily impact the Warriors winning? Him being able to get on the top wings and the top guard? I'm just asking.
Yeah, he was very valuable that he could do. What
okay, so all I'm saying, hold on. So all I'm saying is this: we comparing his peak. We putting dudes that don't even play but one side of the ball. Devin Booker, one side of the ball. Donovan Mitchell, one side of the ball.
Yeah, because guess what? Because what they do on that one side is better than what Clay does on both. The same reason why Steph Curry. The same reason why Steph Curry is better than Clay, but Clay was the one taking Steph Curry's matchups. Because we know what Steph Curry was doing on the one side was better than Clay being able to guard the best guards and still give them the 20 points on the second best shooting in the league. Steph Curry was on his team doing one side of the ball, and we knew he was better. So Devin Booker playing one side of the ball, it doesn't mean he's worse than Klay Thompson. Just because you play defense and you're substantially worse on offense, in my opinion.
Hold on. You said substantially worse. Hold on. As a number one option, what do you think Klay averages? You said substantially worse. As a number one option in his prime, what do y'all think Klay averages?
Like 26, I don't know.
So even if he averages,
so you talking about 26 and one of the best wing defenders in the world, and you talking about bro. See, that's the
thing. I don't judge players by points per game. You can go ahead and do that.
I said defense too.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm saying 26 points per game from Klay Thompson is not equal to what Devin Booker's doing on offense. It's not. It's not the same thing. Just because you see the numbers, they're similar. Oh my God, they're the same. No, they're not the same. They are not even close to being the same.
And my point, hold on.
Klay Thompson is a number one option.
And Mars Blackman.
I think his defense.
And Mars Blackman. My point to you was this. Mars Blackman. My whole point to you was this. Here's why I thought that I ethered your ass. Because I asked you again, what did those points when Devin Booker was dropping 70 out this mofo, what was they doing for the Suns? It was winning 19 games, 20 games. So what is we doing, man?
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. What does Devin Booker playing in 2018 have to do with 2023 Devin Booker? It's not. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying
he wasn't as good. He was.
I'm saying you're judging Devin Booker off the beneficiary of having all these all-time greats around him now to help boost his game.
I'm not gonna lie. Everyone up here understands why that's the dumbest thing to do when we're talking about Klay Thompson. Everyone, we don't need to talk about that. Yeah,
that's why I asked you. Hold on. Hey, Mars.
Kevin Durant on Steph Curry.
Mars Blackman. Respectfully, that's why I asked you what you thought a peak Klay would do offensively, because Chilltown did not say that I thought both of them, if they had their own team like with the Wizards, that they both would be losing. They both wouldn't be.
Devin Booker had his own team with the Suns and they won 64 games, but you want to call it Chris Paul's team. No one else is doing that.
You got one for Chris Paul went over there.
Okay, and Devin Booker got better in 2022 than he was in 2021. Just because the team got better in 2021 with Chris Paul and Devin Booker also improved, it doesn't mean every year after that is going to be Chris Paul's impact. No, but just because you can't seem to distinguish the fact that Devin Booker's improving year on year, you're just going to keep giving Chris Paul the credit even though he was trash this season? No, I don't think
he can hold his own nuts. I think if he went to Washington right now, they'd be winning 20 games. If he went to Washington
with him, what's he gonna go to Washington for? He's in Phoenix.
With that being said, Mars, the idea that a guy plays on one side of the ball, like you said, it's substantially better. So is it fair to say that a guy like Klay Thompson, who shoots the ball at an all-time great level, him shooting the ball at an all-time great level, and him playing defense, not at an above average level, him playing defense at almost an all-league defensive nod, would those two combined be better than what Irv does offensively?
Kyrie? I just wanted to maybe Irv was someone else. No, it's not better than Kyrie. No.
Because
let me get this straight, Chilltown. He talking about how great Devin Booker is today. But I dare ask you, Bob, Damo, and old Pirate down here, if he was leading the Wizards today, how many games you think that team would win? since he is such a great player, let's take him around all these homeboys he around. Let's take him from around KD. Let's take him from around goddamn Bradley Beal and these guys. And let's put him on the win.
He ain't even played.
Since he's so much greater today,
question?
how many games do you think he went as the leader over on the Wizards, Chilltown?
If Devin Booker was today on the leader of the Wizards,
was on the Wizards instead of Jordan Poole right now, how many wins do you think they get?
With Kuz, with that team?
The same team they got.
And they add Devin Booker?
Minus Poole.
They'll be a shit ton better, I'll tell you that.
I will say that.
That would be so much better with Devin Booker.
32.
Well, yeah, they'll be better with Devin Booker than Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole and Devin Booker
cannot
be talked about.
He's saying Devin Booker versus Prime Clay on that team.
He's just trying to prove that Devin Booker only impacts winning when he has great.
I mean, I don't think Clay or Booker is going to make the Wizards good.
But
I think that he would make them better.
Win, I guess.
But again, it's.
But Devin Booker will be better on his own than Clay will be on his own. Although I do think Clay is undervalued because people say, "Oh, well, he just plays with Steph. He just plays with Steph." I think Clay can have his own squad. I don't think he will be as good as Devin Booker. No, but I think Clay can run with his own squad for sure.
I think Bob, and I disagree. I disagree with you because hold on, Damo, is what Mars has said is right. If Prime Klay Thompson put up 26. On his team, and he's one of the premier defenders in the world. And remember, he ain't gonna hit his shooting ain't gonna stop being lights out. He's still gonna be one of the greatest shooters you ever seen play basketball. So with that, and don't think we haven't seen teams built around guys like Klay, because I can go show you Allen Houston. I can go show you Reggie Miller. I can go show you other guys like that to a little higher level who could do a little more, like Ray Allen. But I can show you guys who were shooters, who they built teams around, who had success like that. Joe Johnson. So let's not play this game.
No.
Wait, but this is my thing. But my thing with the Klay conversation. Hold on.
Ray Allen. What am I going too far?
Hold on.
You went too far already with Allen Houston. Then with Ray Allen. Then with Ray Allen and Joe Johnson.
Reggie Miller was good. Reggie Miller's a good comp.
Wait,
Reggie Miller, I get
Reggie's cool.
I feel like this is a disconnect with Klay, though. I feel like something we're not being realistic about when it comes to Klay being on his own. And this is why I wanted to ask Chill, and I wanted to ask Ox. I want to ask everybody.
I'm listening.
Do y'all genuinely feel Klay Thompson, and we're just going to run with the situation Ticket said, on the Wizards by himself with just Kuz and Avila?
I don't think anyone's really changing the Wizards.
Stop. Wait. Listen to me. I'm not asking about wins and losses with the Wizards. Okay. I'm saying, do y'all actually think Klay Thompson's defense will be what it was in his prime on the Warriors? I'm about to say, because history has shown us when you take a player and put them by themselves, they're not going to be able to just compete on offense and defense every given night. That's just not going to happen.
Better than Booker.
If he's relied to be the offensive guy, his defense is going to tank a little bit. So he's not going to be this all-worldly defender.
Well, my thing is, Damo, I hear you. I wasn't gonna say because of the offense. I don't think that's an issue for Klay. I think Klay's one of those guys because we do got those guys that I'm playing offense, so I can't play that good on defense. I don't think Klay's one of those guys. I think Klay competes on both ends of the floor. The only thing I will say is this, because I agree with Ticket. I think Klay could hold his own by himself if it was his team. But without Andre Iguodala, without Draymond Green, without Sean Livingston, without Leandro Barbosa, without all the guys, Andrew Bogut, his defense doesn't look the same.
And that goes back to what we were talking about. I mean, defense is so team dependent.
Yeah, that's no knock to Klay. That's no knock to Klay. Klay still gonna do his thing.
Bob, you said something to me, and Ron, I gotta step to Bob on this. You said something to me just now when I said Allen Houston name. So you telling me you think that, and Chill, I want your opinion on this too, and you too, Mark. All you guys. Y'all think that peak Allen Houston was better than peak Klay Thompson?
I didn't say all that.
Peak.
I'm not
That's how I'm saying no to kid. I'm saying no. I'm not saying that.
Now let me answer.
Okay, now you answer.
Let me answer that question. Do I think peak Allen Houston is better than peak Klay Thompson? I think as a second option, or as a role player, I might take Klay Thompson, but if I need somebody, this is your squad, give me Allen Houston.
Okay, so Allen Houston at his best was 22 and a half.
I don't care about the. I'm not talking about no stats ticket. I'm talking.
I'm not saying it's that. No. Listen, hold on. Hold on. Chill down. I got his ass. So this is what I'm saying to you, right?
Don't got his ass.
Allen Houston. Hold on. Hold your horses real quick.
No, I love Clay, bro.
Hold your horses real quick, homie.
Yep.
Allen Houston at his best was 22 and a half a game, right? That was in like year something like that. And they won 37 games that year, right? But his best years, Allen Houston's best years, he was putting up around 20 points a game, right? The same thing as Clay. But and this is in his
similar type players. Similar type player. This is his prime. He was playing 48 games. One playing
he was winning
defense.
50 games. Hold on. He was winning 50 games. Chilltown, though, losing to the Pacers in the conference finals back in what? 1990? They was in the conference finals, and that year he was putting up around, I would say, it was him and Spreewell, but it was his team. He was leading the team in scoring with 19.7. And they won 50 games. You telling me that if Klay Thompson at his peak couldn't be better than that?
All right, fuck it. Allen Houston's better than Klay Thompson, bro.
And that was no
Oh my God!
I was trying to keep it cool.
Go ahead, Damo.
Give me Allen Houston.
I just want to say I really feel like in this conversation, Klay Thompson is being overrated. But I listen, Klay's phenomenal. Klay is great. I don't think his defense is as great as is being made to be right now. I think he's a good defender.
I'm not trying.
I think he's a good defender, but to call him one of the best perimeter defenders in the league in his prime is crazy to me. That was said.
Where's the air tax on them numbers though? Ticket. Hey, Mars, you want the air tax? I need the air tax on those numbers.
Run the air tax formula for him, Mars.
Right quick. Mars, while you looking that up, and Ticket, hold that thought. I do want to say I think that we're using the wrong scenario by trying to put them both on the Wizards.
Yeah,
I would say, what do we think the Warriors would be if you put Devin Booker on the Warriors? How do they look throughout that?
They would have
Clay's a better fit. Clay's a better fit. In my opinion, Clay's a better fit.
They would have a championship less.
Which one?
A championship less?
Which one?
Oh, the first one?
Okay, geez, the one that Clay played the worst in the finals.
No. Offensively, hold on. Offensively, but defensively, he was solid.
Okay,
now I feel like you're trying to make me discredit Clay.
Wait a minute.
Like that's the last thing. The last thing I want to do is discredit Klay Thompson, bro. Like, I love Klay Thompson.
Hey, look, I love how Damo and Chill danced. Well, Chill didn't say nothing, but I love how Damo danced around my question because my whole point was we down in Klay like if he was a number one guy, he ain't gonna be that. Dom said he thought he was a little bit overrated. But Allen Houston averaging 19.7 points per game.
Okay, so let's get on. Let's hold on. I already know about Allen Houston. So let's get on Allen Houston averaging 19. Let's get on Allen Houston averaging 19 points a game. So we're talking about an Allen Houston who's running around in an offense that's condensed, which is running through Patrick Ewing at that time, and it's not nearly as spread out. I'm trying to imagine the athlete that Allen Houston is, the scorer that he was coming in college, which translated
Patrick
to the
Ewing was washed up at that time. Don't work. Patrick Ewing wasn't the man. Allen Houston was no one else.
Air attack scoring is 24.
Patrick Ewing was at his end. Chill.
What did you say? 24 and a half?
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing.
I got 24.2.
It was 20 games. Chill town. Cut it out.
They still was running the offense through him. Add that to the fact that it was a slower pace. It was a slower pace. Not only was it a slower pace
for the air attack. Mars for the air attacks.
Not only was it a slower pace, the offense was condensed. If you're talking about a guy in Allen Houston who was in terms of a one-on-one player, he was a definitely better one-on-one player than Klay Thompson. So we're talking about an Allen Houston with Steph Curry 16 feet away from him on one wing, and how spread out that offense is, how him running with that Warriors team, how up and down they get, that 20 a game easily goes up. He is fantastic on that unit. And he's bigger than Klay Thompson. No, I'm sorry. He's the same size as Klay Thompson at 6'6".
Yeah, I think switching Allen Houston for Klay Thompson would be pretty much the same.
Do we provide what Klay provided defensively?
Oh, okay, I'm glad you brought that. I'm glad you didn't get me. You know why you didn't get me? Because now we're talking about a guy in the 90s who had to play defense. So he had to play defense in the 90s when he was going up against the two guards and he was going up. He did not. That doesn't mean that he was an all-league. That doesn't mean that he was an all-league. That doesn't mean that he was an all-league defender. But neither was Klay Thompson. It wasn't like Allen Houston was a cone because he couldn't be. He was on championship caliber teams. Did take that team to the NBA Finals off the strength of him and Latrell Sprewell, 100%. With that being said, he was still playing defense. He was not a cone.
Hold on, but you said that Klay Thompson wasn't what?
I said that Allen
all defense one time.
Klay made all defense. You said Klay didn't make all defense.
One time, okay, so he made the all-league defensive team one time more than Allen Houston. Does that mean Allen Houston never played at a high level defensively, being on those Knicks teams? Because I'm sure he did.
I mean, I don't think he was very.
I think he was great.
I love you, boy. You crazy deal, man.
Yeah.
I do love
hey, look,
Klay
this
Thompson.
is
What are you comparing Allen Houston to defensively, Pirate? Are we comparing him to like Ron Harper? Are we comparing him to Eddie Jones defensively?
No. I'm not saying he's totally trash, and I'm not saying Klay is like all league. I think they're. Yeah.
I think he was a slight positive.
Yeah.
Positive on defense. I don't think he was great.
Klay,
I don't think Klay Thompson was great either, to be honest. But that's just me.
For the record, I do want to say that I'm a huge Klay Thompson fan. Like I love Klay Thompson.
And I'm a huge Allen Houston fan.
As much as you can. Allen Houston is one of my
Jeff Petrie has the most air attacks points.
I just want to say for the record, Ticket, I did not duck your question about Allen Houston versus Klay Thompson. I genuinely do not care about arguing Allen Houston versus Klay Thompson. Honestly, I don't really care. Klay Thompson, in this sense, to me, is being, again, I just feel like he's being overrated defensively. Offensively, I don't know how we're going to sit here and say you put him on a team by himself, he'll be able to do more than Devin Booker. When offensively, you're going to have him run around in this era looking like Reggie Miller. I don't know how impactful that can be for a basketball team in today's era versus a Devin Booker. I just don't know how we got here from talking about role players.
Okay, so Damo, a dude that you put on all the time. Hold on, Power. Now watch how I smoke Damo real quick in less than 30 seconds. So a dude like Klay Thompson that you put on all the tough assignments when you in the grind of you winning world championships, you put Klay Thompson on all the toughest assignments in the world. You had him guarding Kobe. You had him guarding KD. You had him guarding LeBron James. You put him on all these other guys, right? In those years, they were going to, I'm talking about all the top level dudes. You had him guarding on Dame Dollar when Steph Curry was ducking that Dame Dollar matchup at times. We seen it. You ain't got to lie to me. It's on video. So a dude like that was playing defense at that level, defensively, that was so high of a defensive level that helped make you a championship team, that helped cover up a lot of the deficiencies of a guy like Steph Curry defensively on the perimeter, because Draymond Green a lot of times was guarding still in the post at that time. He wasn't switching as much as he switches now. I'm talking about the early Warrior years when they was out here, contending and out here winning 72 in all those games, when Klay Thompson was one of the better wing defenders, when he was renowned as one of the best wing defenders perimeter defenders in the world. I dare you guys to name me 2 to 3 dudes in those years that Klay Thompson played that was better wing defenders in the world.
Ticket, I just want to ask, because at one point in this soliloquy you gave about rambling about Klay, you said that in 2015 they wouldn't have won that title had they had Devin Booker versus Klay because of the defense Klay played. Who did Klay guard throughout that series repeatedly?
Well, they switched Klay off many guys, because remember, in that series, that was a series that hold on. That was a series. That was a year. In 2015 was a year that they lost to 2016 was the year they lost to Bron.
No, 2015. You said they wouldn't have won.
Yeah. Okay, so no. Listen. That was the year. Hold on. He wasn't guarding LeBron because they had Iggy on LeBron. So he wasn't guarding LeBron. Say what?
Who was he guarding, Ticket?
No, that series he was guarding. Who was Klay guarding that series? Hold on. They had Steph on the point guard. They had Iggy on LeBron, and they had him on J.R. Smith.
Hold on.
So you're telling me, hold on, wait, hold on, chill. So you're telling me that the 2015 Warriors wouldn't have won that championship with Devin Booker because Klay Thompson, who still played bad at that finals, but defensively guarded who?
No, that wasn't. Hold on. That wasn't your logic. Hold on. Your logic will work. Your logic will work if you only had to play in the finals. Hold on. Your logic will work if you only had to play in the finals. Look how Clay played in all the other series leading up to the finals, offensively and defensively, sir.
Because you're moving the goalposts. This is why I say you just be on here lying to niggas. You
So,
move the goalposts.
no, just ask me a question. Ticket, do they not make the finals in 2015?
Hold on. You sat here and said that they would have lost the finals in 2015.
I said they wouldn't have won it. That's what I said.
You said they wouldn't have won in the finals. They would have lost that 2015 finals if they would have had Clay instead of Devin Booker because of the defense Clay played. That is what you said. Rewind the tape.
I said win it. Okay, rewind it. I guarantee you I said win it.
That's why I asked Ticket the question. Ticket, do they not make the finals in 2015 without Clay?
No.
So they lose to the Pelicans, the Grizzlies, or the Rockets.
Yeah, I don't listen, bro. I don't trust Devin Booker. Man, Devin Booker was running around, man. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Just say you were wrong. Just say you know what,
bro. Hold on. I'm saying this. No, I'm not wrong. Hold on, Damo. I do not. Hold on, Damo. I never valued Devin Booker until the day he played with Chris Paul. Until the day he
Ticket? Why?
Because he wasn't winning, chill. He wasn't winning.
Hold on one second, chill. I want to ask y'all a question. What did Devin Booker do before the day he played with Chris Paul? What did he do in the league except for score points?
I'm glad you brought that up, Ticket, because what they were doing, because one minute you're telling me what did he do, and then you're telling me what the team did. So number one, he was averaging 26 a game up until that point. Then they get DeAndre Ayton, and they're moving forward. I think they were a game away or 2 games away from making the playoffs the year before they got Chris Paul. So they were getting close. It wasn't like they were completely at the bottom of the Western Conference. That's number one. Number two, when you're talking about Klay Thompson, because I don't think I hear you just say, name 2 better or 3 better perimeter defenders than Klay Thompson during that year. He wasn't better than Leonard. He wasn't better than Tony Allen. He wasn't better than Drew Holiday. Let's see, who else wasn't he better than? He wasn't better than Marcus Smart. I could keep going. Why are we talking about Klay Thompson? Like all of
Drew Holiday.
About Klay Thompson, like automatically, this dude was fantastic.
Hold on, you said that year Drew Holiday.
2019. Are we talking about 2019 Klay Thompson? Yes or no?
No, I said peak Klay Thompson.
What was peak Klay Thompson? 2019 Klay Thompson, is that correct?
No, peak Klay Thompson is between what? 20 the first championship in the third one.
So Klay was never even all
16, 17.
No, you're not hearing me. No, Mars. We talking about Mars. Listen, we talking about on both ends. I'm talking about peak as a player. I ain't talking about on one end. That's what I'm saying to Chilltown. Ain't nobody was gonna tell you that Marcus Smart was a better defender than Klay Thompson at that time, bro. Come on,
he just
man.
came into the league in 2015. Take Marcus Smart off the table.
He just came into the league in 2015.
I didn't realize we were talking about. My fault, Ticket. I didn't realize we were talking about 2015.
Hold on, Mars.
Keep going,
Ticket. Let's go to Drew Holiday, man. Drew Holiday played 34 in 40 games. Come on, bro. He wasn't even on the court. He played 34 in 40 games.
So them years that they were winning NBA championships, like in 2018, Drew Holiday wasn't a better defender than.
No, I'm saying no. You're not hearing me. I'm talking about from the start. I'm talking about okay. Those next years he played 65 games and started 23, and then he played 6. So he wasn't even starting full time at that time because he had gotten hurt. Remember, he came back after those 2 years. He got hurt. He played 34. Then he played 40. Then he played 65. Then he started 23 of those 65 games in 2015, 2016. The next year he played 67, and he starts one of those games. The next year is when he came back and played 81, and that was in 17, 18. So all I'm saying was this. I do think Klay Thompson was a top 3 defender in the world. I do think Klay Thompson is vastly underrated. I do think Klay Thompson – hey, listen, hold on. And I'm going to say this. This is the last thing I'm going to say, bro. I think that everybody on this stage, except for probably Pirate, overrate Devin Booker because this is why I say this. Nobody said nothing about you. All sit up here, and everybody, as God is my witness, that's listening to this channel. They crucified Bradley Beal for all these years in Washington. Because why? He scored empty points. Haven't ranked nowhere. Now, all of a sudden, we talk about Devin Booker because he was scoring empty points. Man, I swear to God, man, I got a bridge in goddamn South Kakalaki to sell you hoes if you believe that.
2019.
Bradley Beal was still like a top.
Now you rewind the tape on these dudes and see what they were saying about Bradley Beal before he just sat down with the Suns. They all was calling him a loser. Said this game had no impact. And this man sat up here and said that Devin Booker almost made the playoffs. No, sir. He almost made the
In year
play,
4, by the way.
which was trash because they only
In
won
year
30-something games that season, even with the bubble.
In
Stop
year
playing
4.
with me, bro.
In year 4. That's
I'm
what
on a
year he
different
was
level.
in. No, you're not. No, you are not. You're not on a different level because it was in year 4 that happened. That's number one.
What was Clay doing in year 4?
Number two. What was Clay doing in year 4 with Steph Curry and with Draymond Green and with Looney?
Clay was playing top-level defense.
So year 4 for Klay Thompson, I think he showed up in 2011. So year 4 would be 2015.
It was the first championship.
Okay, so that's 2015. So that's completely different than what.
I'm saying personally. I ain't talking about the team. I'm saying he was playing top-level defense. Is what I'm saying. And he was playing good
defense on a great team, which the offense had been switched. He was playing good defense on a great team. That's a fact. He was playing good defense on a great team.
Come on, chill.
I think he is getting overrated. Now that I'm listening to this, I do think that Klay Thompson is being overrated.
A dude that got 4 world championships and he'll put the 4 in your face. 4 is overrated, man. Lord,
which is the same dude who said he was in his feelings when he did that too. By the way,
he said he was embarrassed
because he got him. He ain't got a floor.
All right, fellas, we got to move on because I got this tier list that I want to do right here for the best benches in the NBA. So, and this is units as a whole. Yes, this
the
is
best. The best what? Did you say the best what, Ron?
The best bench units.
Benches. Okay, I was about to say. Come on, bro. That's easy. You know Sacramento.
This is for you, Ox. An episode dedicated to benches and role players. Well, we're gonna do this today, but I want to run down some super chats before we get into that. So let's just go ahead and start from the top. Yo, ASAP Henny, I appreciate you for sending this super chat through. And this is why I encourage you guys to send super chats through because you never know what super chat's going to spark a crazy debate. ASAP Henny started this whole thing by saying, where would Clay rank today? And, well, that turned out to be a very heated segment. Now we got a super chat from TXNYD. He said, Derek White, the best role player in the league.
No, he isn't. I don't think so. I don't think he was the best role player on his team. I think that was
Brogdon?
I think that was Grant Williams. To be honest with you, even though Brogdon won the 6th Man of the Year, I think Grant Williams was more. He was the only one who stood up to Jimmy Butler. He was the only one. None of them other dudes stood up to Jimmy Butler. All the rest of them dudes, including Jason Tatum, including Jaylen Brown, didn't say a word. It was Grant Williams who got in the bully's face. He was the only one.
Which is crazy, seeing that they got Marcus Smart too.
Right.
Nicholas Arroyo said, Damo doesn't know basketball. Ross said, Kobe fans don't even respect Powell.
Which is nuts.
That's just not true.
Damo, you know how many times I've heard, I'm sorry, Ron. Damo, you know how many times I've heard the logic of, Kobe Bryant won 2 NBA championships without a top 75 player. How many times I got to listen to that? When in reality, Pau Gasol was really, really good. Really good.
That's just sad, man.
It is.
Ron Artest was a great piece to have.
And Trevor Ariza. I know Mars doesn't like him very much, but Trevor Ariza too.
I like Trevor Ariza. I have no problem with Trevor Ariza. You
like Trevor Ariza like Trevor Ariza is like a mid chick. That's how you look at Trevor Ariza.
Yeah, Trevor Ariza is a good role player. Trevor, we should have spoken about Trevor Ariza today. Like, this is a show for Trevor Ariza. But yeah, I like Trevor Ariza.
Mossy Go Crazy said Russ is definitely still all-star capable.
That's not true.
And then he put parentheses CP0.
Okay.
That's my type of super chat.
All-star and T&1.
Yo Mom's 21 said, chill. What's your top 5 most improved players of all time, if possible?
Well, I could start with Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady in the 2001 season when he won most improved. I think he went from averaging like 15 a game to like 27, something like that. Let's see. When I think about most improved players, that's a good question. I got to think about that. Most improved players. That's the one name that comes to the top of my head just now. But I got to think about some of the other players.
Is K Love up there?
Improved.
I think Giannis
He
is
won.
up there.
I'm thinking about guys that won it. Giannis did win it.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about guys who won it. Giannis. I think Giannis is, in terms of his improvement, like it went from this to like this.
I was thinking Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace, yeah, undrafted.
Ben Wallace as a dirty work guy, as a rebounder, as a defender. Yeah, Ben Wallace improved dramatically. Yes, he did. He was always a glass cleaner. He was a glass cleaner in college. And it translated to the pros, but defensively, yeah. I gotta think about that. Tracy McGrady, Giannis, Victor Oladipo is another one who before he ended up getting hurt. I mean, I think that year he won the most improved. I think he led the league in steals that year and made the all-league defensive team. He's one of those guys that I think about also. That's all I got just off the top of my head right now. I got to look that up.
All right, y'all. Keeping it pushing. Drink More Water said better overall player, Brooke Lopez or Rudy Gobert?
Give me Brooke.
Does anybody have Rudy?
Yeah, I'll go Rudy.
Chill and Pirate. They both got Rudy. Alfred Griffin said Mitchell Robinson.
No,
That's another good role player. I mentioned Mitchell Robinson.
No. Wow. Jesus Christ. The only big I like your opinion of is Jalen Duren. Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you, Damo, the Knicks made a mistake passing on that big kid from Charlotte, Mark Williams. He better than Mitchell Robinson today. He starts for the Knicks today. They starting 5-man today.
Hey, Ron, I want to ask Bob a question real quick. Hey, Bob, how that trade look now that Kristaps Porzingis got hurt already and probably gonna be out for the whole FIBAs now?
The Boston Celtics are winning the championship.
That man got an unknown foot injury and he's out already. And the Boston Celtics are trying to figure out what to do with him right now. Like I told y'all, he's terry cloth. That means he's very soft.
Eddie Wilson just sent a super chat through. He said Book hadn't won, but the year before CP got there, he was an all-star. Wow, DeAndre Ayton sat 25 games. They also had the bubble run and were one game out of the play-in. They were building something before Chris.
It was on their way to doing something.
Oh, hey, hold on. Off 8 games, bro.
They was on their way to doing something.
Off 8 games in a bubble, man. Man, get the hell out of here, man. When
DeAndre Ayton misses 25 out of 72 games because of some
my fault is using drugs.
It's not Devin Booker's fault either, but you're still blaming him, Devin Booker, for not winning.
What about the other year then?
When Devin Booker wasn't as good of a player.
When they didn't have DA or when Devin Booker was by himself that year?
When they were making Devin Booker play point guards that year.
Yes. What y'all thought
Phoenix would have did the next year? What they were doing, Mars. Did they have any idea what they were doing in Phoenix?
They were. You said name 4 players. Hold on, I can't, nigga, because I know basketball. My ear to the streets. Yours ain't. They had T.J. Warren. They also had the point guard Eric Bledsoe. Both niggas was out there getting buckets, nigga. So they had a strong. Hold on. They had a strong line because remember that was before Eric Bledsoe went to the Milwaukee Bucks. Am I lying? That's when 2019. Hold on. That's when T.J. Warren was putting up 19 a game.
We're talking about 2019. Eric Bledsoe was in Milwaukee.
Am I lying or flying?
Yes, Eric Bledsoe was in Milwaukee in 2019. Yes.
You're not hearing me. No,
the year before the bubble.
No. They was talking about the help. Now, hold on, Mark. They was talking about the help he had before then. I'm saying he had on that team, on that Sun. No, I'm saying no. I'm not. I'm saying the year before the bubble. On the Suns team, the year before the bubble. No, I'm saying the years before the bubble. I'm talking about
years.
Devin Booker was on the team. He still had a lot of help on that team. He had dudes that could get buckets. Hey, what's the twin point guard's name that was real solid back in Chilltown? I forget his name.
The Harrison twins?
No, there's a point guard. I forget his name. They was real solid back then. Not Eric Bledsoe.
I'm hoping he's not talking about Goran Dragic. I'm hoping he's not. I don't know.
No, not Goran Dragic. You have one other. His name. There was 2 twins that played in the league. Ron might know.
Twins, bro.
No, the Harrison twins. I'm talking about guards, bro.
He said Morris twins were wings.
Morris twins.
No, not Morris twins.
Were they guards? Were they twins or were they brothers?
Hold on, I'm about to look it up right now. Y'all gotta remember basketball, bro. The dude was a solid point guard in the league. Go look it up right now.
Are you talking about bro. Jeff and Marcus Teague? Like, what are we talking about?
No, not Teague, bro. Bro, listen. I'll forget the dude's name. It's gonna come to my mind in just a second. I gotta look it up.
Did they go to Kentucky? Did they go to Kentucky?
He said,
"Y'all make me say you like." Give my cell phone, nigga.
He said
I'm gonna
he
tell
said
niggas right
the
now.
twins that played guard. The guard twins.
No, I'm saying there's one of the twins. Hold on. One of the twins was on the team. I'm gonna tell you his name right now. His name is, let's see. His name is, and I'm gonna show y'all right now who it was. I'm gonna show y'all all the time this nigga had. See, y'all come with all these excuses. I know basketball for real. So hold on.
Twins,
I told you, hold on.
You looking it up too. You don't know.
My ears was to the streets. So that year, or one of those years, excuse me, you had Eric Bledsoe. You had hold on. This is what a cap is, Philtown. You had Eric Bledsoe. You had T.J. Warren, who was giving you buckets. P.J. Tucker was on the teams. Tyson Chandler, who was a great perimeter defender, post defender, and shot blocker was on the team. They also had y'all's number one role playing booty sniffing Jared Dudley was on the team. Got that going.
Who's the twin?
He just brings the camaraderie. Also, hold on. Also, they had to do Brandon Knight, the Knight brothers. That guard, he was a solid guard they had on the team.
The Knight brothers.
Y'all bro, you don't know who Brandon and Brevin Knight were? You don't know who Brandon and Brevin Knight were? Brandon Knight averaged 14. Hold on. Brandon Knight averaged 14. Hold on. Brandon Knight averaged 14 a game for his career. This nigga don't know nothing about basketball, nigga. Brandon Knight averaged 14. Hold on. There was two twins, Brandon Knight and Brevin Knight, dog.
Brevin Knight was not.
I don't think it's that Brandon Knight.
Them niggas popping. They don't know basketball, Chilltown.
I don't think it's that Brandon Knight. I think you're wrong.
There's no way, bro.
Relax, mama.
Hey, Chilltown. Hold on. This is why Damo. This is why your basketball card needs to be revoked. Brandon Knight actually had a solid NBA career. He came in as a lottery pick, nigga. He was a top 10 overall pick.
That's not his brother. That's not his brother.
We know who Brandon Knight is.
You're not listening. Damn.
We know who Brandon Knight is.
They aren't related.
Bro, they the Knight twins, bro.
Playing in the 90s.
That's wild.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna say
one was playing in the 90s.
Hold on, no. Brevin Knight and Brandon Knight, nigga.
How are they twins if one was playing in the 90s and the other one came in the 2010s?
Yo, Brandon Knight is a year younger than me, bro. Brandon Knight came out.
Okay, my bad. They wasn't twins. I thought they was twins the whole time. But Brandon Knight. Brandon Knight had a season Brandon Knight had a season in Phoenix with Devin Booker. We averaged them at 20. What are we talking about? Hold on. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Chilltown?
Just to understand. Devin Booker's 20.
Was he a scrub? Chilltown, was he a scrub?
But their 20 is just, that's good help. Just
hold on. Wait, Mars. Hold on, Mars. Wait. Was he a good player or not, Chilltown?
He was, yes. Brandon Knight was a good player.
Hold on, Chilltown. Let me ask you this.
The difference is everybody knows Brandon Knight for getting thrown.
Chilltown. They also had PJ Tucker at that time, who was a young PJ Tucker in the league. This was when PJ Tucker was young in the league. Hold on, I'm not finished, bro.
They didn't know what they was doing in Phoenix, man.
You're not hearing me. I'm
listening to you. Ticket. The collection of talent the collection of talent. What you're selling is the collection of talent that Devin Booker had on that crew. They should have been better. Only except that wasn't the case. Because they didn't have a clue what they were doing in Phoenix, Ticket. They had no idea what they
was their
doing.
coach, right? Watson was their coach.
Earl Watson was their coach.
Yo, what's good, Damo?
I just want the record to show that this grown-ass man told me, I don't know basketball. My ears ain't to the streets. Because he thought 59-year-old Brevin Knight was the twin brother of 23-year-old Brandon Knight.
31. He not 23, Damo. He like 31. He a year younger than me.
All right. Let's not pile on.
He was like 23, 24. Bro, this is what I'm talking about.
He's not 59 years old, bro.
Why, bro?
He ain't 59. They might be twins, man.
Why you adding insult to injury?
Brevin Knight is not 59.
He's not 59 years old, bro.
Tell me I don't know basketball, and you thought Brevin Knight, who was 5'4" playing basketball in 2003, was the twin brother of Brandon Knight that was playing basketball in 2015?
He was 5'10", and he left the league. He was 5'10", and he left the league. He was 5'10", and he was 5'10", and left the league in 09. Nigga, cut the shit, bro.
Stop.
Like, hold on.
Just so you know, and Mars, we can end the conversation like this, Mars. Just so you know, my senior year in high school, Brevin Knight was the starting point guard on the team that we beat in the state championship.
Fucking
And that's the twin brother
he
of
was
Brandon.
playing in black and white. Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
No way, shit, because Brandon Knight is younger than me. Brandon Knight came out in 09.
Brevin Knight went to Seton Hall Prep High School in East Orange, New Jersey. He was the starting point guard on the team that we beat in the state championship. That's all I'm gonna say, Mars.
Yeah, that's enough proof that he's just an old man.
The Knight twins.
And they could be twins. Now they could be twins. One of them might got that Benjamin Button. One of them might got that Benjamin Button.
Yeah,
That's
we didn't consider that. Facts.
All right, y'all.
Aren't we all twins in a spiritual sense?
No, you're not. No.
Hey, my bad. Hey, there is a Brandon and Brevin Knight. They are twins that played in the league. It was different guys I was talking about. The Brandon Knight I'm talking about, he played for the Houston Rockets.
Twins.
In 2005.
I mean, that shit was funny either way. That was funny though.
No, I'm saying no. It was two. No. It was two. He has a brother named Brandon Knight too. He has a twin brother that names Brandon Knight. You can look it up on Wikipedia. I had the names wrong. That's my bad. He played for the Houston Rockets.
But he's not this Brandon.
That's my bad. I had the names wrong. Damo, Damo, you was right. I had the names wrong.
No. How you spell it? Because he's not even popping on basketball.
No,
It's Brandon.
It's Brandon with an I instead of an O.
Yeah,
Brandon
he
with an
played
I.
for the Houston
Brandon,
Rockets. That's my fault. That's my fault. He do got a. That's my fault. He do got a brother. He played for the Houston Rockets. But look, listen.
Brendan Knight.
All I'm saying to Damo was this. This is all I'm saying to y'all, and I'm gonna leave it alone. All I'm saying is they had a talented squad. Bro, they had a talented squad. Devin Booker had a lot of talent on his squad. So it wasn't one of them teams where you're looking at it and saying, yo, he ain't had no talent. You had dudes that made impact on other teams. He had Eric Bledsoe. He had goddamn PJ Tucker. He had goddamn TJ Warren. TJ Warren was giving you 19, almost 20 points some of those years. What are we talking about?
Well, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Knight were there his first 2 seasons. Eric Bledsoe got traded to Milwaukee in the 17-18 season, if everyone remembers correctly. So if you want to say Devin Booker should have won in his first 2 years, great. But that's who he had in his first 2 years. TJ Warren was there till like 2019, I think. And TJ Warren was cool. But if we're gonna say TJ Warren is ample help, great. But
was TJ Warren a lottery pick?
Yes.
Was he giving you almost 20 a game?
I think so, yes.
All right then, nigga.
Somebody said D-Book and the Night Crew. I'm sorry.
No. If you got 2-3 lottery picks on your team, he had 4 lottery picks on the team within 5 years. All putting up damn near 20 a game. Ain't no reason why you shouldn't have 24 games.
Wait, wasn't one of those Dragon Bender? Wasn't one of those the lottery picks?
And
one of them was Josh
and
Jackson
Marquise
too.
Chris, who came out the same year I did. I played Marquise Chris in high school. I remember Marquise going there. He was trash.
And see, this is the issue when you judge people by points per game.
No disrespect,
when you judge people by points per game, and I like that's their contribution, and that means that the team actually has adequate talent. You end up saying stuff like the Suns should have been better because TJ Warren averaged 19 a game. When if you actually understand the game of basketball, scoring 19 doesn't automatically mean that you're just providing great value to the team. Because if that would mean that you'd have to say a guy like TJ Warren was providing more value than Draymond Green because Draymond Green averages 8 points a game, and if you went and did that, you would be called an idiot. But you can go ahead and do that. But most people with a brain don't just judge people by points per game. But you can go ahead and do what you want. I don't really care.
Well, I didn't judge him by just points by game.
You said he was a lottery pick averaging 19.
You're supposed to be brothers. That was crazy.
You said he was a lottery pick averaging 19. That's exactly.
Hold on. Was he on losing teams his whole career?
Would you call the Pacers a losing team?
No, I'm just asking you.
Well, the Pacers is the only team he's been on that I'd say were decent.
Right, I'm saying that's after Phoenix.
Okay. And after TJ Warren left Phoenix, Devin Booker went to the finals. So
okay, no problem.
You just say stuff like it's weird.
No, I'm not just saying stuff, bro. TJ Warren actually left Devin Booker and got better on a worse team. He went to a worse team
and Devin Booker got away from TJ Warren and went to the finals.
Okay, we'll see.
I can just say just random stuff and just act like I'm making a revelation. Like it means nothing. You're just saying stuff.
Go ahead, Ron. I'm not just saying that, bro. You matter of fact, you were still somewhere in a well, I can't even say that word on here.
Malcy go crazy with the super chat said Nick Claxton is not a role player.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's the best player in Brooklyn. So I guess.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Mikal is there.
Cam Johnson is there too.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one. I'm a Tar Heels guy. I don't know about Cam Johnson, but
Nick Claxton.
No. Damo, you don't respond to stupidity, so don't respond to that.
You right.
Styles Black with the super chat said, "What if a player gets hurt in the first quarter?"
Then
it doesn't count.
Tough shit.
Sucks to be him.
James B pointed out that Viral gifted 10 membership, Tri-State gifted 20 memberships. Want a big shout out to all three of these guys for pointing this out. If for Viral and Nick, Tri-State both gifted memberships. Y'all both goated in the PC world. Appreciate that.
Damn,
and shout out to all the new members too.
You hold something, Damo?
Hey, you gifting 10s and 20. Let me hold $5 or something.
Hold something. Can I hold something, please?
Poncho happened to be one of those new members. I don't know if he's one of the gifted ones, but he's a new member. Welcome to the show.
Mm-hmm.
DK, that boy said, "Does Ticket not think a player can get better?"
Did I say that?
Taquay White said, so are we not talking about Clay's teammates?
Are we not talking about Devin?
What's up, Pirate?
I can do this every time y'all send a super chat like that. Keep sending them super chats. I can do the same thing. I mean, are we not talking about Devin's teammates?
That's all you've done.
All right, then shut your ass up. Keep going, Ron.
That's all you've done. You didn't mention Clay having Steph and KD one time.
Right. I don't have to.
Yeah, so that's the point. You're picking and choosing who to be consistent for. That's the point.
Mars, man. I love you,
didn't,
brother.
No, I'm just letting you know you didn't cook the super chat. You just made his point even stronger.
I love you. I love you, brother.
Hey, no, Devin the one, just so you know, Ron has his handle. Devin the one, that's your name. Ron has the handle on right on his profile. That's his Twitter handle. You can go to that and he'll drop you the link and you could come up here if you think you can cook all of us.
I don't want you to cook me.
If you think you can cook all of us. So
just don't try to cook me. You can cook me, I believe.
I know you shoot like Jakim Noah. Like you type like it.
Stop saying that, Damo. It's Joakim. It's not Jakim. Who the hell is that? It's Joakim Noah. That's his name. Oh my god.
Gotta get your shit together, Damo.
Hey, one thing about that,
I'm gonna say, Damo, is even if it might look funny, but if that shit go in, it go in.
Jamal Wilkes had a goofy ass shot.
Go ahead and read that.
Jamal Wilkes is egregious. I hated that.
And they're winning every time. What was that? Go ahead, put that back up there.
Styles Black said, "We traded TJ Warren for cash. That's how good he was. LOL. Why are we judging Book for not winning at 19 and 20 years old with bad coaching and bad ownership?"
They had no idea what they was doing.
No, that's not. Hold on, that's not true. That's not true. So you're a liar. You are a flat out liar. That is not true. In fact, when the Suns traded him, it was June the 20th of 2019. And they traded TJ Warren to the Pacers. They traded him and the number 32 pick to the Pacers. So what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
What did they get back?
Huh?
What they get back?
Cash.
No, excuse me. The Suns sent the 32nd pick to the Pacers. Yeah, they sent the 32nd pick to the Pacers, and the Pacers took Warren and salary into the cap space.
So that's a bucket of extra crispy and a six pack.
Yeah,
no, you're not hearing me. Hold on. Chill down. You're not listening.
And the Suns had to give him a second round pick and TJ Warren.
I want to hear what you.
Listen to why he said it was BS. The reason why that deal went down like that was why? Because TJ Warren had an injury and didn't play for years. That's why his value was shot. TJ Warren at that time was averaging 18 points a game.
So it had nothing to do with his game.
But he was hurt. TJ Warren missed almost. Yeah, he got hurt. He wasn't even on the court. Remember, he played 67 games, and the next year he didn't even play.
Right. So they got him on the cheap.
Well, that was he played half the season in Phoenix, then got traded for cash, played 67 in Indiana, and then was hurt and played 4 games in Indiana.
No, he got hurt in Phoenix too, Mark. He got hurt in Phoenix too.
I said he played half the season. He was hurt, played half the season. They then traded him for cash. Then he played one.
That's why they traded him though, because of the injury. That's why they traded him for that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying they traded
him. I believe that was Indiana needed a small forward. I believe that's when when Bojan went to Utah.
Utah, yeah.
Yeah, no, hey, he's trying to make it seem like they traded him because he was garbage, man. Get out of here, bro.
Nah. TJ Warren was never garbage, bro.
Yeah, TJ Warren was
TJ Warren was
I
never.
like
TJ Warren was
TJ
never
Warren's
close
game.
to garbage. TJ Warren
Yeah,
was nice.
he was pretty bad this year, but I like TJ.
Well, yeah, I
Warren.
mean, I'm talking about when he was still,
Yeah, I know.
He still had some legs.
Yeah, I'm just
Right.
gonna put down to
To Quay White said factually, Clay without Steph, he only averages 20.
That's not true. His average went up without Steph this season. All them games that didn't
He's
play.
talking about for his career. He's talking about for his career. He's not talking about this year. But that's still disingenuous because Steph missed a lot of time in Clay's early seasons when Clay wasn't great. That's what brings his average down.
What's up, Pirate?
Yeah, I just want to. I find the whole Clay versus Booker conversation really interesting because, I actually agree with probably most points on both sides. I think this conversation really highlights the inevitable digressions that exist when you conflate individual talent with team structure and team success. I mean, I think they're generally in the same ballpark. I can envision rosters where Clay's a better fit. I can envision rosters where Booker's a better fit. It's you always end up going down these rabbit holes when you're like, who did he play with? What did the team do? What would he look like on this team? It's fun, but a lot of the times it's kind of you're gonna meander into all these hypotheticals, and so it's there's individual talent. There's the team success and structure that actually existed, and a lot of the stuff that exists in the middle is going to be vague hypotheticals. And
don't forget coaching and what type of offense they run in.
All that stuff, man. All that stuff factors in.
Wisdom Warrior said, "I respect Clay. He's a flamethrower sniper, but I just don't think he has the on-ball creation and playmaking abilities needed to be a legit number one option."
Yeah.
Allen Houston, Reggie Miller.
He could Clay Thompson in the 2016 postseason when Steph was hurt showed me he could score against playoff teams when they were scheming to stop him. I think he can score. Now, I still don't think he was the best player in Golden State when Steph was out, but he can score as a number one option and still be relatively efficient, even if it is a small sample size. I think if you built a team around him, catered to his off-ball game and got him opportunities, I still think he could score at a very high clip as a number one option. Now, could he self-create? Probably not, but I still think he could score at a very high clip.
Thanks, Marge.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Eddie Wilson said Clay was a good defender at his peak, but I think y'all overhyping his defense just a bit.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think he was an elite defender. I think he was a plus defender. And he had some height, he had some length, plus defense, So yeah, he's not Sidney Moncrief out there, that's for sure.
No, he isn't.
I agree. I think he was a good
Back,
defender. Yeah, I think he was a good defender. I don't think he was great or elite, but I think he was good.
Make It Make Sense said Ticket believes anything the news reports. He once said the Lakers was trading Anthony Davis and they gave him an extension.
They was about to trade AD. That don't mean they still ain't gonna trade him, Janet jackass. They gave him an extension, so when they do trade him, another team will be liable to go get his ass because he got years left on his deal. AD might not play no years on that new deal. You big dummy. He might not play no years. If AD go out here this year and lay an egg, the Lakers gonna trade his ass in the contract he got. You think they're gonna keep him over there till he's 36 years old, making $62 million? You know, I'll show. Damn. Next.
Make It Make Sense is actually next with one more. He said, and another thing. He said Braun was mad at AD too. Like Bob says, TMZ Ticket be gossiping.
I had to say, hold on. I'd have to say Braun was mad at AD. They said it on ESPN. Kendrick Perkins said it. LeBron James' best friend went on national TV and said it. So sit down and shut the hell up. And then look, here's the icing on the cake.
Me out of this shit.
Kind of.
Hold on, Bob. Here's the icing on the cake. Bob, here's the icing on the cake. Why wouldn't LeBron be mad? In his biggest moment in NBA history, AD sat down on his ass. Period, nigga.
We got a start bench cut from D Got It Made. He wants to know who we starting, who we benching, who we cutting at Pau Gasol, Amari Stoudemire, and Blake Griffin.
Start Powell.
Let me get this one. Well, you said cut Amari?
Yep.
No way, Mars.
Shit, Amari starting. We start Amari and we bench Pau Gasol. Get Blake out of there.
If you want to go based on health, that's fine. But at their best, Blake's better than Amari, in my opinion. But based on like career wise, I'm fine with putting Amari over Blake. So start Powell.
So at their best at basketball, you're telling me that Blake Griffin is a better basketball player at his best than Amari Stoudemire was?
Yes.
Even though he had Chris Paul, and don't get me wrong,
But his best was in Detroit, so he didn't have Chris Paul.
His best was in Detroit when he made the All-Star team that one year, even though he finished third in league MVP. I think he finished third in league MVP votes in 2013. I think he finished third in league MVP votes. But when you think about a guy like Amari Stoudemire, I think he was a better transition player than Blake Griffin. I think he was a better one-on-one player than Blake Griffin. I think Blake Griffin was a better rebounder than him. I will not argue that. But I also think that the scheme that both of those guys was in, if you take Blake Griffin off that crew and you put Amari Stoudemire on that crew, I think that expands their offense even more because he could do more offensively than Blake Griffin.
You're talking about the Clippers, right?
I am talking about the Clippers, yes, sir.
Yeah, I can agree with that because I don't think that's peak Blake Griffin. But in Detroit, I think Detroit is just substantially better. That's why I'm saying this. But like I said, based on career-wise, I agree Amari would be over Blake because I don't think Blake was that good for a while. Even though he came third in MVP, he still wasn't even the best player on his team. So good for him. But yeah, that's why I said start Powell because I think Powell at his best and career-wise is just better than both of them. Then bench Blake because at his best, I think he's better than Amari and then cut Amari. But if you do career-wise, start Powell, bench Amari, cut Blake. I think it's two different questions.
Pirate, who do you have?
I mean, I think it depends on a lot of factors what you're judging. Probably the same ballpark. I'll just go with Amari's like the kind of power forward that I like. I'll say Powell is probably a little bit better, so I'll go Powell, Amari, Griffin. But yeah,
didn't think you'd like Amari considering how bad he was defensively.
Yeah, but I like his athleticism.
I think Blake. I think Blake was equally as bad. I don't think Blake was that much better defensively than Amari was. I think what supplemented was he was a better glass cleaner.
Yeah. What did you have? You didn't say what you had.
Oh, I'm starting Gasol. I'm benching Stoudemire. I'm cutting Griffin.
I'm starting Amari, benching Gasol, and cutting Griffin.
Yeah, I'm with that one.
All right, fellas. Keeping it pushing. Eddie Wilson said Brevin Knight has commentated for the Grizzlies for years, and D-Book wasn't nearly the player he is now when that Suns team had talent.
So Devin Booker was dropping 70 then.
Devin Booker has gotten better, yes. Facts.
And what aspects?
His playmaking and decision-making has improved immensely. He's gotten much better defensively. His pull-up three-point shooting has elevated to a much higher level. He's also stronger, finishes at the rim much better. He's also refined his post-game to a much higher degree. Do you want me to carry on going, or do you?
His basketball IQ is a lot better than what it was in year 2 when he scored 70, and he was just a shot chucker as opposed to today where he actually reads defenses a lot better than he did 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch these people play, you can see how they improve.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question. What year did Chris Paul go over there?
21.
Yeah, when they went to the NBA Finals.
In 2021, right?
Yep.
Okay, no problem. Because he got better the year before that.
Well, he was improving, yes. In 2020, he was better than he was in 2019. Yes.
Okay. And then when CP3 came over there, he got a little bit worse. He dropped a little bit, but that's okay. No problem.
Now, when you say a little bit worse, because I hold on for a second, Moss. Because my scoring average goes down, it doesn't mean that I'm worse.
No, I'm not looking at average. I didn't say nothing about average.
Okay, because you say he got worse.
I'm talking about percentages. I ain't saying average. I'm saying his field goal, his 3-point, and his free throw percentage went down that year with Chris Paul.
And there's a reason why that happened, Ticket. The reason why that happened is just because you jump on a crew with a guy, it doesn't necessarily mean that automatically this is going to work right from the beginning. I'm going to be the same dude.
Because of that?
I mean, how much did his free throw percentage drop, Ticket?
No, I'm just saying, it dropped from 91. It dropped from 91 to 86.
Damn. 91.
Yeah, I'm just asking you because you saying
I'm glad you said that. Well, how many times was he going to the strike?
Well, he was going to the strike. Hold on. Well, he was going to the strike 7.3 before Chris and 6 after Chris.
By the way, that 91 year is the only year he shot that percentage. Every other year is 85, 86, 85.
So he was
85.
shooting around
no,
average.
He had an outlier season.
Hey, Ron. Now, see, this one. Listen, Mars love to gang up on Ticket. But when Ticket
No,
is
we're not ganging up on Ticket.
No. This one we talking about right here.
You guys just see the game a little differently.
Hey, Mars, do you know who Louisville Slugger is?
No, I don't think they make cricket bats.
You don't know who that is. Louisville Slugger, somebody who leaves somebody out here ice cold like Deontay Wilder, face down, ass up, boy. Believe that. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
So just
keep it
conversation, man, because you don't never want to meet Louisville Slugger. Now, back to you, Town. What I was saying to you, right? So
let's get back on. I'm sorry, Tim.
Yo,
I'm just playing.
I gotta get into these super chats though, yo. I got like 20 more.
Go ahead. I'm just messing with you, man. Go ahead.
We've seen CP3 pull LeBron's from It's Mr. GQ to you super chat. He said we've seen CP3 pull LeBron's injured shoulder going up for a rebound and undercut Giannis after coming back from a hyperextended knee in the same playoffs.
Yeah, Chris Paul.
Yeah,
he's
kind of a jerk.
Yeah, he's no question about him being dirty. Yeah, no question. Chris Paul is dirty.
I think even
there's a reason why, and we could start and stop this conversation really quickly. There's a reason why Rondo punched him in the face. For that reason right there.
Mm-hmm.
Drink More Water said Brandon and Brevin Knight are brothers, but the Brandon Knight Ticket is referring to isn't the Brandon Knight from Kentucky. He was a coach.
Right. I got the wrong one.
MC Robinson said, well, this is awkward. Zoe Money said Knight's best highlight is getting dunked on by Blake.
It was DeAndre Jordan.
Actually, that's who it was. DeAndre Jordan throwing him through the bucket. That's what it was.
Or missing that game-winning layup at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Or again, or Kyrie breaking his ankles in the rookie sophomore game.
It got bad for Brandon Knight for a second. That's a guy who, off reputation, ended up losing.
Yeah, I agree. He was actually a better player, but the highlights did him a disservice. Or the lowlights.
NG said this is bad for the brand.
Right. That's why you still here and you watching.
Aaron Butter said crazy. Ticket think all brothers look alike.
I just got the wrong one.
That's fine.
Got the wrong one, sorry.
We ain't putting Ticket in the lineup because I'm going to the penitentiary for something I ain't doing.
Hey, speaking of racism.
That's him.
Nick Tri-State said Mama Knight was hurting, stuck in labor for 20 years.
Hey, man. Hey, Bob do kind of look like Ron a little bit. If you put Bob and Ron together in the lineup, they kind of look like each other.
No, they do not. I've seen both of these dudes together. No, they don't.
Put them beside each other right now. Hey, Ron, put them beside you on the screen right now.
No, they don't.
Put them beside you on the screen right now, Ron.
You're not finna,
This is solely based on hair. This is solely based on hair.
Nah, but so like, for real, like older, like we've been mistaken by like older white ladies. You know what I'm saying?
The racists, yes, the racists.
Yeah, they'll be like, wait, I thought didn't I meet you before? I'm like, no, it wasn't me. Like,
not all look alike.
But I went around the corner from like our shop, which is right there on 4th and Pike, and I went down like on University, like University's a little. There's another shop over there, and I went in there, and they was like, weren't you came in here yesterday, right? I was like, no, that wasn't me. Like, I know who you're talking about.
Aren't you like 5 inches taller? Or?
Yes,
maybe like 3, 4.
Big Ox is like 6'8". Yo.
That's hilarious, though.
That's the only part that trips me out. Is like, okay, I know I'm tall, but you're significantly taller. Like,
yes,
the difference between 6'3", 6'4", and 6'8". It's a difference. It's a clear difference.
And my dreads look so much better than his. Like,
no.
All right, I'm gonna just pretend like that didn't happen because we got super chats. NG said they just confirmed KP is playing.
They some dummies. I would sit his ass down. As soon as he had the foot injury, he down.
So was he hurt or not, Tiki?
They said, it was reported this morning he was hurt on Bleacher Report. Did he hurt his foot? He had an undisclosed foot injury.
Well, I don't know. Y'all get up. Y'all get up.
The stars have the power to not listen to the training stars. Clearly,
Dub just be popping up like the boogeyman.
Y'all over there though. So y'all get up a little before me. You know what I'm saying? So you probably you know what I'm saying. You get the news a little earlier.
Real,
than I do, so I don't really know.
What up?
No. It came out this morning when I woke up. It was out this morning.
Yeah. But I'm saying you like 2-3 hours ahead of me. So you obviously get up before me.
Oh yeah, I'm on East Coast time.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I'll be missing that shit.
JT said, "Chill." Would Jaws MIP be up there?
No, because he actually gave it to the dude who he thought was better than him, which is Desmond Bain. He thought Desmond Bain should have been the MIP that season.
How would you feel about that if you were Desmond Bain? Do you accept that trophy, or do you be like, man, take that shit home with you?
No.
No, I don't like that. I'm like, bro, that's yours. Go ahead.
Drink More Water said, "Who has the most points per game in their career after air attacks?"
Jeff Petrie.
Do you know what the difference was?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think he scored like 33.3 or something with the air attacks.
Wait.
Formula.
I don't know what that is either.
What years did he play? Pirate?
Air attacks formula is way too complicated to get into right now, man.
Please, I'm not even interested in.
There's an air attacks formula.
Mars, you said the 70s?
Maybe tomorrow.
He played in the 70s. He was on those Portland teams, right?
Rookie of the year.
70s.
Rookie of the year. He hurt his knee. After like 4 or 5 years, but he was rookie of the year.
He missed the Portland championship.
If Larry Bird was playing today, that whatever he was averaging chill time probably goes up 8.9 points.
No, that's not how it works.
Actually,
slightly under Jeff Petrie.
Is this in conjunction with air attacks? Is that
air attacks formula?
Because if Larry, we all agree
with air attacks formula,
his numbers go up around 7-8 points.
If Larry Bird played today, if Larry Bird played today,
and Dub, just so you know,
I don't know what the averages will be, but if Larry Bird played today, he's the GOAT.
Slightly under Jeff Petrie. Slightly under Jeff Petrie.
Just so you know,
those 5 points. Mars was praising. Mars was capping yesterday.
Yeah.
Come on.
Those 5 points that you was talking. Those 5 points you was talking about, Dub, during his prime. I mean, during his peak, Bird was 27, 10, and 6. So that's 32 a game.
Oh yeah. I think
you and Bobby and Mars the leader.
The pace is generally the same it was back then. So I'm accounting for
Hey, Dub, these are the same dudes. These are the same dudes that try to sell. They try to sell Bird having better ball handling skills than goddamn KD, man.
No, we didn't.
He's dribbling with one hand, bro. Dub, he never crossed over, bro.
He could dribble with both hands, but he wasn't KD.
One hand with the low ass shorts on. One hand.
Dude, he wasn't. Ticket thinks Larry Bird was Dolph Shays.
Man,
right? That's what I'm saying. I said what I said. I stand
Larry
on that
Bird
shit.
was opposed.
Larry Bird
Larry Bird couldn't dribble behind his back. And they here talking about he had better ball handling than KD.
You don't need to dribble behind your back.
If I said this, it would be cool. Disrespecting the young generation. I never would.
Nuts.
Nah, Ticket's spitting right now.
No, he ain't spitting, dog.
You don't need to dribble behind your back. You don't need to do all that. You just need to play back.
4 years old.
He just wasn't nice as KD with the bill. In terms of handle, he was not as nice as KD with the handle. But let's stop talking about him like all he did was dribble like this.
He was in circles still.
What the hell am I listening to right now? Doug pulling up like the boogeyman or like
Sweet Georgia Brown.
Gonna give me a stroke. Get the hell out of here.
You're right. He did dribble. He did dribble like that. He just had his back to the basket and dribble like that.
Hey, Doug, and I noticed one thing. He was looking at the ball the whole time too. He wasn't looking straight.
Come on.
All right, so we gotta keep it pushing. We at that point in the show. Marquivian Black said, "Peace to the panel. Let's get this money."
Money, man. Let's get this money, man.
No Kobe Bryant slander on this show.
Put them in the bag first, man.
None.
Then get money.
Terrible.
Poncho said, "So Ticket values D-Book with CP3, but not with Curry."
No, because CP3 is a real point guard. Curry wasn't a real point guard. They need Draymond Green and stuff. Their offense to get into what they want to do. They get their ass cooked again. Y'all don't want that smoke with me. You don't want that
smoke with me. The hard way, bro.
He got cooked.
He's not a real point guard.
DK, that boy said CP3 came when D-Book was 23 years old. What you want?
I wanted the 70 points and stuff he was dropping before to get more than 24 wins. That's all. Next.
Cook times 2.
The Green Maurice Sports said, "Is this Team USA roster the real roster? Seems mid."
Yes, it is.
This is the team they taking to the Olympics in 20. What is it? 24, 25 is when they do it.
There's no way they go to the Olympics without Jason Tatum.
As soon as they take a bad loss, the reinforcements gonna come in. As soon as they take a bad loss out here, the reinforcements coming in. So
sure.
Don't say that. Don't tell them that this is the final roster.
It's no way Jason and Devin are on this squad.
Yeah,
no
and
way.
that means Chris Paul's gonna have to play so Devin Booker can be effective. And I don't know who who's gonna have to play for JT, but they'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Leb Onar.
Hey Ron, I gotta bounce, brother.
Yep.
I'll see you dudes. I will see you dudes tomorrow. Ticket you wild as hell. That's my man. I love that dude, y'all. I'll see you dudes tomorrow. Mars Blackman,
Right,
be easy.
Yes, sir.
It ain't our fault you praise the dude that dribble in circle. Go ahead, Ron.
Leb Onar said, Jordan Clarkson carrying the Philippines.
Yeah, like always. Isn't that what he does?
Jalen Green to betrayed the Philippines.
I mean, who else is going to carry the Philippines?
Should have been Jalen Green, but he betrayed them and went to Team USA.
Fire.
He's a smart kid.
NJ Dre 1804 said, "LOL, who's on the top 5 terry cloth list?" And we'll end it on this.
Kawhi,
AD, Kristaps Porzingis. He got to be there.
Paul
George.
Leave Kawhi out of this, bro.
Paul George. I got one more for you. TJ Warren.
Oh, TJ Warren.
Hey, but hold on.
Oh, TJ Warren, the only player.
Who's the captain of the team, though?
TJ Warren.
How's TJ Warren?
He's the captain, bro. He's the captain, bro. This dude don't miss so many games. It's insane.
Well, then Lonzo Ball should be on the Terry Clough team.
Yeah, but we got to give him honorable mention, bro.
He's about to miss 2 whole seasons. He's the starter.
Yeah, but Kawhi
Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah, Jonathan Isaac hasn't played a game since I was born. Like this season was the first time he ever played. So yeah, Jonathan Isaac's on the Terry Clough team too. Oh, all wrong.
That is true.
W, you got some super chats?
There's a lot of people on the Terry Clough.
I got you. All the super chats are done.
We're done? We done with super chats?
Yeah, brother, we done. Hold on, let me shout out these members though. It's Zamze is a new member. James B, about time. What took you so long?
Straight up,
you wait for Christmas? Demir Hawthorne, that's a new member. Jeremy James, appreciate you. Da sent a super chat, but it didn't say nothing. Appreciate you. Become a member now. Marty G, welcome to the party. And last but not least, Bryson B became a member of this show. Appreciate all you guys for tapping in. You guys are now a part of the family. Y'all rocking with us the hard way. Oh, Jersey Love. Member for 1 month.
Appreciate you, bro.
1 month better than nothing.
Ticket,
all
come
right,
on, bro. There was no reason for that.
All right, y'all. Y'all know where to find us tomorrow. Y'all know where we're going to be. Open gym is right after this. Tap in. Fluent and chill tonight. Tap in.